Welcome back to episode 296 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast.
There's a man in the hobby, he's got a keen eye. He spots a crooked shield from a mile sky high. He don't want fame, he don't want cash. He just wants that patch center dead on the dash. Baba Louie, shield police, keeping those patches looking crisp and clean. Upper deck, don't mess this up or he'll lose his mind and flip his coffee cup. It's a one-of-one, a grail, a beast. But if that shield's tilted, cancel the feast. He guards the grail with righteous might, fighting off center crimes day and night. You can trim a card, but you don't off-center the shield. Not on Baba Louie's watch. Baba Louie, protect the shield. He's weirdly obsessed, but also real skilled. One mission, one cause, one center goal. Rocking the hobby with collector soul.
What up, boys?
That was amazing. Amazing. Yeah,
Just got off duty. Here I am.
yeah. Top notch. Top notch.
Baba Louie, shield, please. There.
I think it was very bold of you to use your grinder profile pic, Louis, for the segment. That we thank you.
I didn't think that's where it was going.
I did. I know that was excellent. That was fantastic.
Oy vey.
I'm like uncomfortable but attracted to you at the same time. Like I don't know. It's so
It's
weird.
kind of like an androgynous sort of police officer with a beard.
I don't know.
The way I described it. So, what's up, boys? How are you? Hi, Phil.
Good. What's going on, boys? Good. Good week. Good weekend. Happy
Yeah.
Monday to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful weekend here. Grad season or grad party season in
Oh,
full effect. Was
yeah.
already at one this morning. The season of free food and 20 pounds. That's what
Yep.
like to call it.
Still rolling in lacrosse playoffs too. We won Friday night, so
What was the score?
Nice.
this one was a little closer. I think it was like 19-4.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Thrashing.
Very nail biter, Louis.
It's gonna now is when they really get fun though. Now is when it's gonna be really tight games. So we'll see.
Nice.
All right. Well, let's get into it. A number of announcements to roll through before we get the show started. It's a huge week in the hobby, of course. It's Cup Week where, oh, there we go.
Bye-bye.
We just can't get enough of Baba Louie, the Shield police officer. Yeah, so a big release week for the Cup, of course. A special time of year. Hockey's biggest set goes live. We're going to be doing a lot of live shows this week, apparently. So we're doing a Cup release. That's awesome. Cup release day live show with Billy Cilio on Wednesday. Then we will be doing our Thursday Slab Sharks live show on Thursday, and then of course Friday nights with Phil on Friday. So we're live like all week, basically, boys.
Are we recording after we have with Billy, or is that our show?
No, that's our show.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Yeah, and then that show will be in audio format on Thursday morning for
Okay.
the podcast for Thursday's show or podcast. That week.
Excellent. I'm sure Billy's really excited, as
Yeah,
we are.
it
We're
looks like
super excited as well. Yeah.
Mhm. We're going to ask him about Young Guns acetate permits.
Yeah.
Right, we have to do that. We're obligated, almost in that fashion. I wanted to mention really quickly because we're recording on June 1st. Never really said much. It was the 3-year anniversary of our show, so I guess that's something. Could never have imagined we'd be doing this 3 years later after Troy and I started. May was also a pretty uh, big month audience wise for our show. We had a record month, and uh, basically because of the 3 year anniversary, did a lot of reflecting. And I like I said, I can never imagine what this show has become. And I for sure, and I'm sure you guys would feel the same way, am really humbled by how much our little show has grown, especially in the past 6 months. And it makes me personally want to work a heck of a lot harder. We don't talk about like the big picture of what the Gong Show is about very often, but really the goal of our show is to inform, maybe educate, most likely by in the way of things not to do. But
By personal example is the
a
main.
personal example, yes. Entertain, and then hopefully build a stronger community around the hockey hobby. And I remember, a few years ago when I sort of shared my vision with people for what the Gong Show could be, I heard a lot. I got a lot of response that was, I don't want to say negative, but just sort of doubting maybe that what we were going to try to do is not really possible, right? Hockey is way too small. You're better off doing a general sports cards podcast. Can't make a sustainable business or brand around the hockey hobby. And who knows, maybe it's everyone's right in that regard, and we'll have to see. But I believe strongly, I did years ago and still do today, that our little hobby deserves a consistent, fun, and entertaining show. And I can say with 100% confidence that we've been consistent, at least. The fun and entertaining.
Whether it's entertaining or fun is up for debate, but
up for debate in the eyes of the beholder, I guess. And so with all that said, I just wanted to maybe the key point here is to say thank you to everyone for all their support.
Yep.
Criticism, hate messages, continuously saying I miss Troy. We appreciate it all.
Love it.
We love doing this. We love this hobby. And, hopefully the best is yet to come for all of us. And you too, the good listener.
very well said, Josh. Very nice.
Yep.
I'm very grateful for all our good listeners as well. I'm grateful for all the haters. There's not many. There's like, 1 out of 100. That's fine. They still listen. That's the best part.
Love everybody.
These guys don't know anything. Then why do you keep listening?
Well, I thought,
Josh, especially when you started this, it was something to give you something to do, also something other extra to do, fun, talking about the hobby, and not expecting it to turn out the way that it has. It's been so fun to be able to talk to people, meet people, hang out, and do things around this hobby that you never thought was possible before.
Well, I don't even know if I've ever told the story of why the show started. We've told a number of times how it started. I'm really on a whim,
Right.
with Troy and I being into cards and wanting to try a podcast. But the why probably never really got into. And so I call it a midlife crisis. And I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I had an idea to start a technology business. And I worked on that for like a year and a half. And it was, I guess, sparing everyone the details. It was a disaster.
Thank you.
It did not work. And, that's part of the entrepreneurial journey, right? Is that you look at any successful entrepreneur and the road to success is paved in failure a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. You have to have a lot of resilience, right? To be an entrepreneur. And I was very frustrated at the time because I had worked very hard and it just wasn't going to work. There were so many reasons why. And I was kind of angry all the time, and I needed something to give my mind a break, to focus on anything else but what I was failing at the current moment. and that's really the why that this sort of podcast started, because it was something that I could do for a few hours a week that just gave me a mental break from whatever stress or struggle
How many
that I
hours
was
a
going
week? How many hours a week?
Yeah, well, at the time. And but the amazing thing about life, right, is when one door closes, another door opens. And had I not had that experience, had I not been frustrated, had I not needed desperately something to put my mind at ease for a little bit of time, I would never be here today, and I wouldn't have you guys as my best friends, and I wouldn't have all the blessings that this experience has given me. And so I mean, don't ever give up hope, I guess. Right.
I love you guys too.
So,
Yep.
okay. I do want to, though. I want to get, I really think that Phil, that your last Friday night with Phil might have been your best one yet. So why don't you
I
give,
don't say that, but I appreciate that. I think they're all very special in their
no,
own
they're all
unique
good,
way.
of course, but I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed your last show. And so why
Thanks,
don't you, anyone that hasn't seen it, why don't you give them a quick recap?
Yeah, so we not taking anything away from the incredible host, myself, Loud Collector, Phil, hello, and my incredible co-host, very handsome California Dave, and a very best friend. Oh man, really? And my best friend of the show, Perchy, absolute hoot, and Aaron Lapper, very good friend of mine as well, good friend of the show. Aaron represented a good part of the hobby that was a little, I'm going to say it, Aaron, don't get upset, disgruntled. It's a good word. It's a good word. With the news from Upper Deck that was released that last week. Very understandable. I mean, I don't have strong opinions on it, but we hit on a lot of aspects and a lot of questions that I think a lot of us have. So if you're not really up to date with what I'm talking about, take a head over to YouTube and check out the live version of Friday Nights with Phil from last Friday. We hit on almost everything. We approached the chat. The chat had great questions. We gave solutions that created other problems. It was just a great discussion with a good group of collectors. And I can honestly say that I'm a big collector. Dave, Lapper, Perchy, everybody in the chat. There's not a lot of sellers around, but we need sellers too. So it's a very predominant, fundamental collector type of show. So if that's your thing, and yeah, it's not, clearly we're not doing it for massive population, but slowly over time and organically, collectors are trickling in. We're getting over 100 people every Friday now, which is phenomenal. I always said if there's 30, I'll do it, because I love talking and I love showing cards. And Dave opened a box of extended. I opened a box of extended, and so did Perchy. So if you're curious to see our opinions about extended, which was released last week, head on over. We're going to open Ice the following week, and yeah, working on a few guests. Yeah, Ice will be fun. Fridays are going great. I'm having super fun. I look forward to it immediately when I wake up Friday morning. I love it.
Awesome.
It's an absolute blast. It's a total hangout. We're playing music. We're being silly. And I think that's what collecting should be. Be silly. Nobody on our show Friday night takes themselves seriously. You won't last. I'll probably just laugh at you a lot. Yeah. It's a very silly show. Come hang out.
Yeah.
Yep. Good recap. Okay. This is a huge week at GP Sports. Obviously, cup release breaks. I think they're live right now on the gpsportscards.com website. You're going to want to hurry up and get your spots because I'm certain that they will go very, very fast. And Grant, I can't imagine how many cases he's going to rip through on Wednesday and all throughout the week on his GP Sports Cards YouTube channel. So
the
even
big
if you
random,
don't get in,
one sec. The big random is already sold out, but sometimes Grant puts a second one out. So make sure as you're listening to this, check right away. Yeah. Because they sell out quick. And even if he gets more allocation, that sells out quick again.
And we'll catch up with Grant a little bit later in the show. We recorded an interview with him the other day that I thought was a lot of fun too. Quick hockeychecklist.com update. So remember, 23-24, the cup checklist is live on hockeychecklist.com. Also, the checklist for the upcoming 24-25 Upper Deck Ice is on the site too, so you can check that out. And it's been a good few days for adding some legacy sets to the site as well. We added 2,304 Bowman's draft picks and prospects. That has the Bowman Gold refractors out of 50. If you've never seen those cards, they're amazing and very spendy. Also, 81-82 tops, 80-81 tops, and then 05-06 SP Authentic Hockey with a couple decent cards in that set, I've heard.
Bangers.
We also had record traffic to the checklist site in May. So again, very, very thankful for that. It's awesome to see people that are using and seem to be liking the site. And a reminder, if you have suggestions, you find bugs or errors, any issues with data or facts or figures, please let us know right away. I know we've had a lot of updates, but I got to talk about Discord for a minute because two things. First of all, on Tuesday, tomorrow, reminder, episode 3 of Behind the Bench with IFC, our boy Neil, is going to go live. That's our Discord exclusive show. He did his last one on Terapeak, and I don't know what this one's about. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I just watched it. Jeez Louise.
Oh boy. Goldfish.
This one's got a lot of good collecting information.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, he's doing an
not
amazing
not
job.
financial advice, but
Yeah.
collecting your way and other things.
Okay. We've had a lot of great response so far. Also, this happened this past week. So we have a section in Discord called Show Us Your Cards, and we've had a couple people, a guy named Rob in particular, that got into this habit while he's having coffee early in the morning. I think he has like a job that requires him to wake up really early. He was buying a lone pack of cards on ePack. And you guys would not believe the heater this guy went on for. I think he was buying one pack of O-Pee-Chee Platinum 2023. I'm just going to run through. This is like a 5-day span of what this guy pulled in one pack a day. And then other people chimed in and they started pulling crazy cards. Oh, dude, it's the early morning ePack gang in our Discord. So here we go. So start out, we had a Dustin Wolf. I think it's a blue crystals or something like that out of 125 right there. So that gets pulled. Then an Emerald Surge Auto Yaroslav Askarov.
Oh, come on.
The next day. Then a Walker Dewar Rookie Seismic Gold. Then after that, a Brent Burns Seismic Gold.
Yeah.
Then somebody got a pack of Flagship and pulled a nice exclusives Gus Bus for us Wild fans.
Who buys a pack? One
it's
pack
a thing
of
now.
cards?
It's a thing now. You'll find out. I got into it too. So then someone, Evan Mad Dog, right, who manages our Discord, is like, well, I want to try this. He pulls a Golden Treasures Jonathan Huberdeau in one pack. Right. So at this point, I'm like, well, I can't miss out on this. Right. So I get in and yeah, I got a Josh Norris Violet Pixels.
Oh, that's right. That's like I'd rather not get that and nothing.
Why do the hockey card gods hate me? That's what I want to know. Everybody else is like, this is like banger after banger. And
well,
$20 for Josh Norris Violet Pixels. But it's super fun. And it's just sort of the crazy organic stuff that happens in our Discord. So if you've ever wanted a community to share cards and stuff like this with, you can do that by supporting our show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, which is a Patreon podcast. What that means is we rely on the support of listeners like yourself to help us cover our show expenses, produce more and what we hope to be better hockey card content, and then fund initiatives in a small way to grow the hobby. If you support us for as little as $5 US a month, you also get access to our Discord, and that's where you can kind of join in the fun. We do games, contests. There's a scavenger hunt going on right now. We had 5K challenge, which probably just made Louis' blood pressure rise because he's going to have to calculate that again soon.
I got help this time.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff there. If you want to support us, it's very easy to do. Just go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to Patreon directly, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description if you're listening to us on a podcast app. Hello, good listener. Or on the YouTube description as well. And then finally, in our Instagram and TikTok profiles, we have links there too. Baba Louie, we have 3 new patrons and Discord members. They're all in Discord, which is awesome right away.
Yep.
Since our last show, do you want to please shout them out for us?
I will do that. First one in was Trading Card John.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Next up was Sid Wink.
Sid Wink, like a hoodwink.
Sid Wink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Crosby Wink, like winking at Sid.
Yeah.
Can you guys wink with both eyes? I can wink with both.
No, I can only wink with my left.
Oh, weird.
Oh, like back and forth like this?
No, I can only. Oh, yeah.
Well, like don't move your whole face. Just wink.
All
right, forget it.
And then last but not least, Lithium Turtle.
Lithium Turtle? Aren't turtles supposed to be pretty temperamental?
Mellow? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Lithium like
extra temperamental.
A mood stabilizer? Or, I mean, yes, please.
But there you go. 3 more lonely men. Sweaty guys.
Less lonely men now.
We're lonely together, which would make us unlonelied.
The best part about having new patrons and though is they're the ones that are instantly active in the Discord. Just showing cards and
That's
asking questions and doing it's
100%.
so fun.
It made me think of what I honestly think is the greatest lyric from a song ever written, which of course you guys will know. It's we're sharing a drink called loneliness, but it's better than
Oh,
drinking alone.
Yeah. Piano Man.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
I'm more of
Okay.
a Vienna Billy Joel guy. Vienna's my jam from Billy Joel. That's
Ava
not-
just played. My daughter just played me that song last night. Said that she likes it. So.
absolutely beautiful. Vienna waits for you, Josh. Very deep
Kids-
song.
You know how kids discover songs through TikTok now?
Yep.
I still don't know what TikTok is.
You're not missing anything.
You know what I know what TikTok
Boomer.
is? He's one of the characters in Return to Oz. That's what TikTok is to me.
Oh, okay.
You guys have never seen Return to Oz?
No.
Oh, okay. Moving on. Oh my god.
Baba Louie, what's the game plan, bud?
Well, it is starting off with get to know your Hall of Famers. Then it's Stanley Cup Finals hobby preview. After that, we'll get into the hobby news. Following that, it's hunting NHL Shield 101s with Grant Paterson. Then it's a 2023-24 The Cup preview. And we jump into the Gongshow Mailbag and finish up with personal pickups.
Let's kick off today's show with our Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series. It's where we are taking a look at every single Hockey Hall of Fame player, starting with the very first class of 1945 and rolling our way to present day. For each player, we do a quick bio, cover why you should care about them, then look at their hobby markets. Today, we're going way, way, way back to the very earliest period of organized hockey and are going to profile Hockey Hall of Famer Oliver Seibert. Big Oliver Seibert fan, Phil? You look...
No, I don't know who that is. I thought, why are we going way, way, way back?
Because he was elected in 1961.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair
That's when
enough.
they
Good
decided to put him in.
answer. All right.
Well, let's learn a little bit more about Ollie Seibert. Oliver Levi Seibert lived from 1881 until 1944,
I call
passing
him
away at
Oliver
63
Levi.
years of
I
age.
call him Oliver Levi for short. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. He was born in Berlin, Ontario, passed away in Kitchener. In a hockey career that lasted from 1900 till 1909, Seibert laced him up for the Canadian Sioux, S-O-O. Wonder what that means. What's a Sioux?
Oh, I should know that. I don't know. It could be a First Nations, maybe abbreviation.
Maybe.
Or Sioux Greyhounds. We have the Sioux Greyhounds up here. Sioux Sainte Marie. Maybe Sioux is just her name. Like Sioux Sainte Marie is the town.
Yeah, it's just spelled S-O-O, so it's kind of strange.
Oh no, that I'm the wrong person to ask. Can we edit this out?
Canadian on the show is the wrong person.
Oh, come
Okay.
on, man. I can't know everything about everything. Come on.
I know. Then he played for the Guelph Royals. It was pretty exciting. For my research, he was primarily a defenseman. Seibert is also the father, the Faja, of Hockey Hall of Famer Earl Seibert.
Oh, I don't know that guy either.
And Oliver is regarded as one of the first players to ever play hockey professionally. On January 31st, 1905, he signed a professional contract with the Canadian Sioux of the International Professional Hockey League for a whopping $30 per week and included room and board.
That might not be a bad deal.
Yeah, and
Maybe get a little
1905.
horse and buggy to the game.
Sure. After signing the contract, though, he'd play only one game that season as he suffered a broken leg in his first game with the team. And in just 22 professional games over his career, Oliver did score, though, 40 goals. So pretty good goals per game average for Mr. Seibert there. So why should you care about Ollie Seibert? He's known as one of the toughest players of his era. Doesn't look like it, but
He looks like Leighton Sheldon a little bit.
oh yeah, kind of.
Yeah, big ears.
So much so that some historians call him hockey's first true enforcer. He played in the early 1900s when protective gear was minimal and rules were loose. Seibert's rugged style often led to on-ice scraps, but his teammates loved having him on their side. One opponent reportedly said, "You knew you were in for a fight if Seibert was dressed that night." He obviously rhymed as he talked too.
I love it. I love a good rhyme.
Seibert helped The Toronto Marlboros won the Allen Cup in 1908 and later played for the Berlin Dutchmen, a team that challenged for the Stanley Cup. Although they didn't win, Seibert's presence in those early championship-level games added to his legend as a foundational figure in organized hockey. His grit and leadership helped him elevate the level of play during hockey's formative years. And his son, Earl, as I already mentioned, also became a star and was later inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame himself. The Seiberts are one of only a handful of father-son duos in the Hockey Hall of Fame, a rare feat that connects the sport's rough and tumble past with more modern golden age.
Not so much anymore. There's lots of pedigree genetics in the league since then. Yeah.
Seibert played defense at a time when players did not wear helmets, of course, or even much padding. Yet he never hesitated to block shots or throw himself into scrums. In one game, he reportedly took the puck to his face, skated to the bench, wiped the blood off, and jumped right back on the ice for his next shift. That fearless, self-sacrificing style became a hallmark of old-school defenders. And he played at a time when hockey was transitioning from a recreational pastime to a national obsession in Canada. His tough, no-nonsense playstyle helped define what would become the stereotypical Canadian hockey player. Gritty, loyal, and fearless. He didn't just play in big games, he defined them. And finally, his career spanned the period when hockey was shifting from amateur to professional. He played under varying rules, saw the birth of formal leagues, helped navigate the growing pains of organized competition. He was a key figure in pushing the game toward a structured, high-stakes sport we know today.
Nice.
So kind of, again, one of the builders of the game.
I wonder what brought up 50 years later for him to be inducted. Like something must have sparked it, like a conversation or somebody brought something up at some point.
Maybe his kid was so good that they made
maybe that's
remember his dad or something like that too.
Yeah. I'm only going to play for your team if you use your influence and get my
honor my faja.
Honor my faja.
Well, looking at Oliver Seibert's hobby market, it will not take very long. His playing career predates the first hockey set, the 1910 C56 set. So all we really have is Phil's favorite, the 1985 Cardophilium.
Yes, sir.
You can get them raw for about $1 US.
Stop saying they're so cheap. They're not as cheap as you think. They're not. I bet you this card's $25. I bet you any money.
No, stop it.
Yeah, you stop it.
Well, that, boys, is your Hockey Hall of Famer, Ollie Seibert.
Well, I couldn't find out exactly what Canadian Sue is, but you got two choices: either the railroad or the locks.
The what?
I think a lot of people will know. I think a lot of people will know. Hey, listen, I bet you don't know about, coniferous vegetation. Do you know the Latin names? Okay, well, there we go. So teach their own.
Because everybody cares a lot about that.
Most boring.
Add, if you know what the Canadian Sue were, what Sue means, add it in the comments. Contribute to the show, please.
Yeah, teamwork. Hello.
Makes the dream work.
Yeah.
There's no I in team.
Oh,
There's
me. I can't stand those. Living the dream.
Oh,
living the dream.
Oh, man.
Let's talk some Stanley Cup.
Yeah, let's do it.
Normally, we do Who's Hot in the Struggle Bus, but the Struggle Bus is in the garage. Well, it's not even nice enough to put in the garage. We just put it in a field where the rats can get in it and for the year. Yeah, we're retiring it for the season. So it'll be back in mid-October when we start 25-26 NHL season. Mm-hmm. So I thought, though, today in this space, we would use the time to preview, give a hobby preview of the rematch in the Stanley Cup Finals that begins this week between the champions, defending champion Florida Panthers versus Connie McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. Mm-hmm. So, it begins on Cup release day. Oh yeah,
Wednesday, baby.
We get to compete with the Stanley Cup Finals when they're live show.
Oh my God! Again. Okay, well, whatever. Okay. And it's in Edmonton, eh? The home first game's in Edmonton this year too.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll be late. It'll be later. I think it should be. Probably not.
Okay, here's how the odds are stacking up according to the Athletic. Oh wow, 55%. A little bit of a nod to the champs.
Oh, weird. Well, you can bet on Edmonton, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
accurate. Edmonton's like 115, 120 over on the money line. So
Okay. We mentioned again, game 1 is Wednesday the 4th. So yeah, let's do a little bit of a preview. 8 p.m. again. You can have 2 screens going, one with the game, one with our show.
yeah, there you go.
That'd be nice. Okay, so I want to have it, it's a free form discussion, boys, but I did make some notes, and I kind of like looking from the hobby perspective. I think to me, I always think of who can change their trajectory in the next week or two during this series. And so first I broke it down by team, and then I did my top 10 rankings of who has the most to gain in the Stanley Cup Finals, and we'll see if you guys agree with that there.
I like
so
this.
looking at Florida, to me the key question is there anything that can happen? Can they win in 4 games, 100-0 each game, and it does anything to change the hobby presence or values or market, whatever term you like to use for that, for any player on Florida, right?
Nope.
It's something.
No.
Maybe Seth Jones, maybe. No, not even Seth Jones. Like, who's the youngest guy in Florida right now? Like,
well, Anton Lundell, maybe, because people have been.
He's young. He's 22, 23.
Maybe 24.
Sam Bennett's not going to get an increase. No one collects Bennett. No, is there any Verhaeghe big fans out there? Marchand's got the people that like him. No one's just going to miraculously start liking him, right? Lundell is probably the best one. Like what? Rodriguez is a big hobby. I mean, he's playing great this year, but
he's a hobby. Jeez,
well, he's in his 30s. Like no one cares anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like Ekblad's
playoff hockey magician.
Carter Verhaeghe has no hobby following, but everyone would love to have him on their team in the playoffs because he scores goals.
Same with Sam Bennett, right?
Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably the best chance. I don't know. You said take them in 4 games. If they take them in 4, I'm going to say it's probably going to be low scoring games, and maybe a goalie gets a boost a little bit. And Officer Bob, I don't know. Probably the best.
Yeah, I think the difference is quite big. I think if Edmonton wins the cup, major changes in our hobby with players on their team. Florida, nothing's going to change even with the sweep. I really believe that. Maybe a three-peat, people will start giving them just dues. I don't know.
Sure. So I tend to agree with you, Phil, and it kind of bums me out a little bit. The realization that I had while thinking about this and preparing for the show today was I wish that like current events had more of an impact in the hobby. Wouldn't it be fun if Sam Reinhart has a couple of great games and the hobby market goes bananas, or Bob has a shutout? And even if it was more like temporary, it's just like, it seems like coming into the draft, you either have hype or you don't. And then your hobby legacy is cemented in stone at that point. And that's an over dramatization.
Yeah, our hobby is not as reactionary to events as we think it is. Right? No. It's peculiar, and we are rash to make quick opinions and judgments. I mean, look at this week, right? It's a plethora of opinions are flying, and we're all very quick to make them. But if someone, scores 10 goals in 3 games and they're 32 years old and a winger, no one really cares.
Because you didn't have the hype.
I think you said it.
Begin with.
Your popularity at the draft kind of follows you in our hobby for the rest of your career in a funny way.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that was a good point.
Yeah, I just think it'd be more fun if there was a little bit more volatility. I don't know if volatility is the right word, but a little bit
I think
more.
So.
Then I think you're right on the Edmonton side. I see this as a legacy series for McDavid and then Draisaitl to a lesser extent. And I get it, right? So the whole does McDavid have to have a Stanley Cup to be considered one of the greatest players of all time is a debate. And there's people on both sides. And I think we all, I think, have said in the past that we're sort of on the side of the fence where we think he does need one. And other people think that that's hooey and he doesn't. But the point there is it is a debate and there is people on both sides. So that can only sort of hold back his market. And I think I've said this too, where I tend to collect kind of the all-time greats, it has held me back a little bit on McDavid. So I think if he wins, I will collect more of his cards. Because
Dabble.
that's how I collect. Well, I because it's less of a gamble at
No, I
that
said
point.
dabble.
Oh, dabble. Yeah.
Dabble into collecting his stuff. He needs it. He needs this cup. He needs
He
it.
wants it.
He needs it for his career.
Wants it.
Yeah, he wants it. He needs it for his career. And I would love to see our hobby reaction after he gets it.
I think it's a permanent increase to his market value.
Yes, I agree.
Permanent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it'll put him on more cards with Gretzky. It'll add value. It'll open doors for designers at Upper Deck to have a lot of fun with his instant legendary status. Right, he's a king right now. He's the prince of the NHL. We want him to be a king. King David. King
David.
King McDavid.
The McDonald's version of King David.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's biblical and it tastes good. Well, for a bit.
For some people. As far as Draisaitl goes, I don't know. Is he destined to be the Yari Curry of his era? Is he better than Barkov, Phil, or is Barkov
he's
better
destined
than
to be the Mark Messier. I think it's kind of funny because they're both kind of grumpy, right? Well, Messier's not grumpy, but he's got a little bit of a rep for a chip on his shoulder. So I've heard. If he's your uncle, send your hate mail to Josh. I'm sorry, I didn't know he's your uncle, and he bought you everything you wanted at Christmas. Whatever. Apologies.
Is he nicer than Ray Bork?
Yeah, I know. Don't go there. Troy's still getting hate mail. He's not even on the show.
I'm thinking no.
I remember what you said 15 months ago. Draisaitl, he will always be under McDavid's shadow. I don't think the guy cares either. Do you think he really cares? He would have left the team a while ago. I think he wants to win a cup, and that's what matters.
Yeah, he wants the cup.
Yep. Focus German.
If McDavid gets a permanent hobby bump, does that apply to Draisaitl as well? Or is he just more is what he is?
I think that'll be more fun to watch. I think yes, for a little bit over the summer. Oh man, that's such a good question. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'll just stick with that too. It'll be fun to watch. I don't.
Poor Carter, friend of the show, Saskatoon show, Saskatchewan show creator, card show creator, collects Draisaitl. So that would suck for him because that's a nice loophole, right?
Everything gets spendier.
Every time you go to buy a Draisaitl card, you could be like, "Come on, man, take $20 off. It's not McDavid." You could say that every single time you buy a Draisaitl card.
$200 off.
Come on, man, it's not McDavid.
Yeah.
Well, here's my top 10 rankings of most to gain the Stanley Cup Finals. So this is where you guys make fun of me and disagree, but that's okay. Number 1 is Connor McDavid with a bullet.
Yeah.
Nobody disagrees with that, right? He has the most to gain.
Absolutely.
Number 2, I took Draisaitl. I said still with a bullet, but like a 22, where McDavid's like a 50 caliber bullet and Draisaitl's a 22 bullet.
So if you're picking a Florida player, we're assuming that Florida wins the cup.
Okay. Most to gain in this series, like what player, if things go perfectly, will make up the most ground.
Yeah.
Nice.
Number 3, this might start to get controversial. I thinking Bobrovsky. At that point, he'd be a 2-time Vezina winner and a 2-time Cup champion.
Mm-hmm.
Does that put him in?
I was going to pick someone different.
Okay, well, who are you going to pick?
Bouchard. I think if Edmonton, I think that'll put him on the map because he's that good, and he's a 2018 draft. He looks like he's 50, but
he has more body hair than you do, which is
it's great. Wow, let's not get nuts, but he is really good, man. He is
really good.
Like he has as many points as I checked this morning. I might be wrong by 1, but he has as many points as Barkov, and Barkov's leading the Panthers. He's a defenseman. He's got his hobby has to increase. It's crazy. All right.
Mm-hmm. Then I put 3. I had Bobrovsky. At 4, I put Tkachuk, and maybe it's more. I mean, it should matter, but will it? I don't know. But it's like as a 2-time Cup champion, if they win.
He looks too much of a villain. He's just got that poop eating grin. I love him. I mean, I love Matthew Tkachuk, obviously, but he's very unlikable easily.
Number 5, I did put Bouchard, so I had him next. And it's like, what's the upside for him? I mean, could he ever be on? He's not going to be Baby Bobby or Cale Makar, but could he be like seen on the same level as like a Quinn Hughes or something like that? I don't know. His stats are the same.
Yeah, he's really good. And he's young. Like, isn't he only like
Yes.
mid 25, 26? Like, what? He could be even better next year and the year after. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, now number 6, I got to give a little disclaimer because I don't want an immediate reaction. I'm saying most to gain, meaning where if you're like starting way down here, you could move up and still not be as high as everyone else. But I'm going with Stewie Skins. A lot of people, like, you know how you have your Pinto thing? A lot of people went really hard prospecting Stewie Skins. And let's say they win in 5-6 games and he plays out of his mind.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that his market could really juice up. I think it would be very temporary, and my recommendation would be to sell immediately, but that's just me.
Like Zach
Not
Hyman
financial
last
advice.
year. Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing how many people, though, went Pinto-esque into the Skinner market. The next one, it's like almost like a Chuck. So what would that be? 1, 2, 3. Number 7, I have Sam Reinhart. Sam Reinhart's had like an amazing few years. It's just that, like you were talking about, Phil, too old and not enough hype, and nobody cares.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be more complicated than that. It's just 30 plus. Man, you're not exciting, old man.
Then I went with Anton Lundell next, who's always seemed to teeter on hobby relevancy. Like, people really want him to. There's a whole like group of guys, like I think of like Connor McMichael or William Eklund, right? These that people are really excited about and have flashy moments, but just can never break through. And so, who knows? Next, I put Carter Verhaeghe, who to me is kind of an older version of Anton Lundell.
He's still holding his own, man.
Well, he's a great player.
He's playing well.
Of course but we're talking about hobby relevancy here. It's not about who's playing good and who's not. It's like, then I went Brad Marchand. It's like, as my last pick of my top 10, right? Legacy
You
builder.
kind of threw that in there. You just kind of like,
well,
maybe the only way he'd pick up some steam is if Florida people, their big hockey market, latch on, right? If Florida wins the cup, they'll maybe some like Mitch Grotman. He'd be like, all right, I'll buy some Marchand cards.
Yeah.
You know, that's it though. I mean, I don't think Grotman would like overpay for a Brad Marchand cup card or something.
And then like for like if I had to pick an 11th, it probably would have been Nuge. I just don't know if he's been around so long at this point that, yes, a cup would validate his career, of course, but I don't know if it would change anything in the hobby.
He'll probably cry when Edmonton wins the cup. I'm manifesting. He'll probably cry. He's an OG. He's an Oiler OG, and he's been through it all, right? He was the second coming here. No, McDavid will want more. I think McDavid won't be satisfied. He'll be like, we're going to do it again next year. McDavid wants 3 cups.
Yeah. Do you think McDavid's an ugly crier?
I don't think you have to add the last word, and I think you could just put a period there.
Oh, wow.
What does he care what I think? I have no hair. What does he care? Yeah.
Shots
Anyway,
fired! Shots fired!
What man, unless you're Brad Pitt, is not an ugly crier?
So hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of deep-seated crying and weeping in public. I do it in the shower like a normal person.
Crying?
Crying's good. Real men cry.
Okay, let's flip the script. I'll ask you guys this. Who has the most to lose by sucking this series?
The same guy who has the most to gain.
Same
You think so?
Yeah, number 1 by far.
Yep.
Yeah. They the Panthers sweep them. Whoa! There goes $1,000 off my Ruby Red outburst. Which is
well, that's the unfortunate thing is I don't think he's capable of sucking, but I think certain players around him, like going back to the Skinner thing, can torpedo this for him.
Crazier things have happened, brother. I could see. Yeah, I don't want to say what I want to say. Weird things happen, right? What do they say in football? On any given Sunday, so in any 7-game series in hockey, weird things happen.
All right, we're gonna finalize this conversation and give fearless predictions.
Okay,
Louis, do you want to go first? So let's pick the winner and Conn Smythe win.
Mm,
Okay.
all right. Well, Conn Smythe. Well, ooh, this could be. I didn't know you wanted me to pick a Connie. I got Edmonton in 6. I think there's going to be something goofy happen here, and they won't take it to 7. I think they'll get the cup, and they'll get it short of 7 games by 1. Conn Smythe, if they win, you're just going to give it to McDavid anyways. I don't think anybody else will get it.
I say Oilers in 7, and I think Draisaitl is going to win it.
I'm going Oilers in 7 and topping out with Connor McDavid. What I really hope is that the Oilers can win it in Edmonton. Does the city go completely bonkers, Phil?
My country needs that right now, please. We need that. We please, we need that.
What are the streets of Edmonton like if the night they win the cup?
Just bliss, utopia, super fun, everybody happy, not a care in the world. Bring your family. It's not Montreal or Vancouver, right? So no, Montreal would be great too. Don't go to Vancouver if they win, though. That's scary. Yeah.
Okay.
You never heard about the Vancouver riots?
No. What happened?
Oh, Google it. Well, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh,
Google
yeah.
it.
I think I did in the past. We had an ugly thing here when the Gophers won the national championship. Was it late 90s or early 2000s?
I don't get why you win. You trash your own city. Don't you want to clean your city when you win? Like, what? I don't get that one.
You were like burning cars on the U of M campus. It was not a good look.
Yeah, don't you burn things down when you're angry and cheer? I didn't get that. Yeah, that was an odd one.
Well, it'll be fun, regardless. Slab Sharks is a Gongshow partner and sponsor. We're grateful for their support of the show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is live, ends this upcoming Thursday night. It is another massive auction this week, about 5,700 cards available to bid on right now on slabsharks.com. And some of those cards are from the United States, boys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
USA.
So our first few shipments have hit this week's auction, and we just sent another bigger one for the following week too. So if you're an American hockey card collector and you want to list your cards in the biggest weekly hockey cards auction there is, we can help you do that. Not only the biggest weekly hockey auction, you know what I learned about Slab Sharks, which is kind of amazing? They are the largest seller of any product or category on eBay Canada.
Oh,
Get out of here. Really?
Oh, yeah.
That feels kind of concerning. That
What?
well, I don't know. I guess they're bigger than I even thought. I was like,
Yeah, they're huge, dude.
really? Okay, that's crazy. Wow. Good job, guys.
So just find the link in the show description or on any of the platforms that we're on, and we'll help you get registered and start the process of shipping your cards to our U.S. mailing address. That's the key in working with the Gong Show if you're from the United States, because you don't, in order to be in the Slab Sharks weekly auction, you don't have to ship to Canada. You just ship to us, and then we handle all the icky, horrible hassles of shipping internationally.
Should we just tell them? Should we just tell the good listener? Okay.
Louis,
So for the last 3 years, I've been digging a tunnel from Ottawa to Josh's basement. It finally got completed 3 weeks ago, so we could start this program. So there's no shipping. It's just that's why I'm in such good shape. Because
it's got the railroad tracks. It's got a cart that you do this, and it makes the.
It's our version of the Underground Railroad. Yeah, it's for cards. This is how much we love the hobby.
How much we love the hobby. So each week we pick out some of our favorites in the auction. I'll go first, like I normally do. Phil, you got me all in this Outburst Red thing now, and I saw the Macklin Celebrini Young Guns Outburst Red, and it just looks so awesome. From a, you want to go to the card, Louis?
Yep. Sorry, I had to skip a slide.
Oh, no worries. Man, what a great looking card! Such a home run. This whole Outburst thing from Upper Deck,
big time.
And there's only 25 of these, so they're pretty limited, but not impossible to get. And then the next one that I picked out is an auto card from the Cup I really, really love, and it's the Show Auto. If I got my druthers, I'd probably pick because they always come in a white or a black version. I like the black a little bit better because you get that kind of cooler, like the silver auto, I think, usually on black. But this Mario Lemieux from 2021, the Cup, it's the white Show. Just an awesome card. And I would like to have it.
That one's got a strong Oli Lefse.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No doubter.
more like an ole.
Olé.
Ole.
Baba Louie, what are your favorites?
First one is this 1910-11 C56 Imperial Tobacco Fred Taylor in an SGC3. It's way off center, but the card's awesome. I like it. I don't know. These ones are growing on me. And
Oh, yeah.
my 4.5 favorite hockey team, them Renfrew Creamery Kings.
Can't go wrong with the Cyclone Taylor. That's for dang sure. What's next?
Number 2 is these Champs cards seem to be pulling at me every time I see them. So it's a 2020 clear cut Gretzky Champs Green Auto out of 25. Just a sick card. I don't know.
Yeah. Champs are awesome. Big fan.
What I like about this card is I feel like Wayne looked at it and was very purposeful where he put the autograph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is a considerate autographer guy,
Mm-hmm.
unlike that Ovi character.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Philip, what are your favorites?
All right. Picked a beauty here. 2014 Fleer Flair Showcase Sidney Crosby patch mirror. What is there not to love about this card? It has a mirror gold finish. It's literally in the name. It's awesome. It's got Crosby on it. It's got a patch. It's got 3 colors. It's got 4 breaks. Some would argue 5. So don't bid on this card because I'm bidding on it. And yeah, just don't do that.
Current bid is an amazing card.
Yeah,
I really
current
like
bid
this
is current bid's like $8,000. Don't even try looking at it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so high. It's way overpriced. Yeah, kind of regretting talking about this card right now. So my next card would be
Hold on. No, we're staying here for a second. Because honestly, I had to do a double take when I was putting this picture in here for you to talk about it. I didn't notice the patch. The patch blends in to this card. I've never had that issue with a patch card before. I kind of had to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
It's a sneaker. It's just they snuck it in there. Yeah. And I like how Crosby's got 2 different images. One's in a white jersey, which should be the home jersey, and it's not, but it should be. And he's in his black jersey in his other face, body, whatever. Okay, next card. 2023 SP Game Used Alexander Ovechkin Blue Auto. I don't know much about these cards, but I picked it because I've never seen Ovi in a All-Star jersey that I can remember. We're just so accustomed to seeing Ovechkin for 20 years in the same Washington Capitals jerseys. Yes, I know they've changed, but the same style. I stopped. I kind of laughed, and the picture's kind of funny. He's kind of like, "What do you want from me? What do you want me? What do you want me to do? Break Gretzky's goal record? Fine, I will." And he did. So if you're an OV player collect, this might be a nice listen. It's already at $230. It's not like this card's cheap for a sticker auto. It's insane. But I also know there's some people who like to collect hockey players in all-star jerseys. So this would be a cool one for that type of collector as well. Yep, those are my 2 picks.
Nice.
We're out each week. We're going to highlight a couple of the cards too that come from the USA into us through Slab Sharks. And so got 3 of them just to shout out and very much appreciate our folks that send them into PO Box 389, right? And headed into Slab Sharks. So the first one is a 2023 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Austin Matthews previews orange checkers. It's kind of a big one there. Nice looking card. Then a 2024 Upper Deck PHL Kendall Coyne Schofield from the back-to-back Walter Cup champion, Minnesota Frost. The Outburst Young Guns PSA 10, getting some early action on Slab Sharks. And then, speaking of Evan Bouchard, a 23 Metal Universe Precious Metal Gems red PMG. It's a nice looking card.
The guy, he's got that Tavares 5 o'clock shadow, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Louis, I'm shocked that you didn't pump your own card. We're picking out your favorite. I thought for
You
sure.
look totally like the kind of guy to pump his own card.
Yeah. You know me. I love to flex.
Yeah. He's a big flamboyant kind of guy.
Louis has a green PMG Chris Letang. So if you're a Penguins fan, go
Oh,
bid on
Josh
Louis.
did it for you. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, see, I got your back, Louis. I got you. Thanks. If you're a Canadian or American hockey card collector, you may be looking to turn some of your cards into some cash. We'd strongly recommend giving Slapsharks a shot. They make it simple to sell your cards on eBay. They've removed almost every single hassle. You do nothing. Basically, just ship your cards to Slapsharks, and the team there does the rest. For complete consignment info, including payout rates, head to slapsharks.com. Get the consignment process started today, and we'll be live on Thursday night, going through the auction, having more fun. Alex, Toronto Mega Collector, will be joining us.
Yeah, that's
Looking
this
forward to that.
Thursday. I can't wait for him. Yeah, it's good. Oh, we're getting such a good crew. Yeah, it's good.
Happy news!
Hobby news.
News from the hobby.
I don't know if I know Louis seen this, but so I call him now Postmaster Cigar Scott, because he literally is the king of posting in our Discord.
Mm-hmm.
He posted a story, or I don't know what you call these, like a fun fact infographic about Jaromir Jagr that legitimately seized my brain. Like I couldn't even process it. I was so blown away.
To make sure you read it
like
right.
100 times, and then I had to research it because I'm like, there's no way this is true. And then Scott even he did, like, on Grok, he did all the research and posted the research on it, because like I said, my mind was completely blown. Okay, so you want to put it up, Louis?
Yep.
So with Florida advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals, Jaromir Jagr has had a former teammate reach the Stanley Cup Finals for 45 straight seasons.
No way.
I'm telling
How's that
you,
even possible?
because he played forever. He's
45 seasons
from
That-
1980 until 2025. A Jaromir Jagr teammate has played in the Stanley Cup Finals.
1980. The Islanders won in 1980.
It was Brian Trottier, who was a teammate of his on the Penguins in the early 90s.
Oh my God, he was.
Yep.
And then Sasha
Okay.
Barkov was his teammate with Florida, and now he's in the 2025.
Oh my God. Okay.
45 straight years.
Did you check every year yourself personally?
Scott posted the whole Grok.
I have trust issues.
I know. This was floating around everywhere, though, for a couple of days.
That's first I've heard of it. That's crazier than Gretzky lost his first cup final, but he won his second. Crosby lost his first cup final, but he won his second. Connor McDavid lost his first cup final. Hopefully he wins his second. I thought that was a pretty cool stat. This is insane. That's wild.
It's insane. Well, it speaks to Jagr's longevity in the game, of course.
He is almost the true definition of legend, right?
Mhm.
Legends are made of stories. And he has a lot of stories, right? And he's got a lot of great memes too. When that girl tried to get him in trouble, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't care."
Even going back to his training regiment as a kid, like how many squats he would do a day and everything, is just what an extraordinary life this guy is living.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna move on.
No, we should salute him.
Yeah, salute. Okay.
Salute him. Yeah, because that's what he did, right?
We got to talk a little PWHL. We're a little late to the game here, but we've had a lot going on in the show. So our home team, Minnesota Frost, still the only team ever to win the Walter Cup. So who says titles can't be won in Minnesota, I guess?
I think only Minnesotans say that.
Pretty much.
But have they won it twice? No.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, man.
Okay, but oh wait, that was last year. Never mind. I was going to try to be.
Which would be the first of the 2 years.
Yeah, but there was Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota hockey team or whatever. The Minnesota Frost dominated, crushed, and defeated the Ottawa Chargers.
No. It was a very close, hard fought.
Dominated, crushed, and defeated the
How
Ottawa
much did
Chargers.
you watch?
Quiet. Let Josh finish.
On May 26th to win the league championship. And it appears the league's second season has been a tremendous success overall. So this is very exciting to see. When you look at the regular season, the average attendance this year increased by 35%, rising from about 5,448 fans per game to 7,362 around the league. The total attendance, they surpassed 1 million total fans within just over 14 months of the league's inception. It's so hard for you see whether it's football or basketball or any sport, these leagues that start almost yearly and they never seem to work. And it seems like that the PWHL thing has been for hockey, especially too, has been a
Yeah.
pretty resounding success.
The hardest decision you're going to have to make when around this is, to go. Getting yourself to go to the game is going to be harder than sitting there watching it, because once you get there and the game starts, it's phenomenal hockey. It's fun to watch, hands down.
I would say it's a lot of fun. Definitely, the environment that they create is a blast.
Yeah,
for sure. It's a lot of fun to be there. Yes,
I think especially too as a father who had a daughter that played hockey, when there's not a lot of female role models, right? Most of the coaches, even growing up, are males. And there's a program here in Minnesota that we actually really liked, where it was a former golfer who's a Finnish. She was an Olympian, a Finnish Olympian that played for the Gophers, and she's ended up staying in Minnesota and started. And the whole point of it was a AAA team, but they did clinics and camps, but it was all female coaches.
Yeah, they're building a culture. It's great.
Which we just thought was amazing. Now my daughter didn't like it because she was like a big, like tough Finnish woman that she would yell and Ava couldn't understand her. But besides that, I just thought that was cool. So so for girls hockey players to have these role models, I think is pretty amazing. In 2025, the finals just averaged 8,378 fans per game. That was an 11.6% increase from the previous year's finals. So again, more growth. And they did a takeover tour featuring neutral site games across North America and averaged over 14,000 fans a game. Notably, in a game in Vancouver, drew 19,038 fans this year. So it's
more than your wild.
And then, buoyed by growing fan support, the PWHL did announce expansion plans, adding teams in Seattle and Vancouver for the 25-26 season, which is going to really stink for us because as these young leagues grow, now we have expansion drafts. So there's going to be upheaval on just about every team as these new teams come in. But it's part of the process, I think, of
I just think that's a little early to be adding two teams. You want to have your core strong, impenetrable. Then, what do I know? I don't know. No board of governors. I don't sit on a board of governors. So,
well, and if you caught our last Thursday's Slapsharks live show, we were following the auctions of a number
that was
of
crazy, a couple
PWHL hobby boxes, and what were they going for? Like $400 Canadian or more?
Yeah, it was wild, man. Wild. Even Caitlin Clark and that Angel Reese, their little beef and rivalry. Oh, it's great. Yeah. Good time to be a woman in sports.
Yeah, so $300 US, like they're selling for in the Slapsharks auction. I also looked just at some like aggregate hockey card stats for PWHL. Would it come out in January, I think? There's already been 6,000 secondary market sales of singles since the release. 9 more than 1,000. 42 sales of more than 500 US. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Upper Deck, like their strategy now going forward. It's you have to assume that they're going to expand.
No, I would limit the box. Really, I would do exactly what they did. I would limit the box and watch those cards just stay relevant. That's what I would do. They're not gonna, but
if you had to add PWHL to one more brand, so like the platinum version of PHL or SP Authentic, which one would you do next?
The ladies would go all over Stature. It's a very pretty. So? It's a pretty set. It's a pretty set. So
I wonder what percentage of their fans are men or women. I don't know the answer to that.
I would have a healthy guess.
Yeah.
You think it's mostly women?
No, I don't.
Oh, really?
No, okay. I find the male, the hardcore male fans from the PWHL are quite aggressive. When I'm like, no, I didn't catch a game. I'm like, well, you're from Ottawa and they're in the finals. You don't like hockey, you don't like women's sports. I'm like, whoa, dude. Like that was at the gym. Yeah. So they're a little aggressive.
All right. Yeah. Moving on. So Phil's favorite TV show that he insists nobody in Canada has ever seen is coming back for season 2 somehow. The Faceoff inside the NHL will debut at some point later this year. Now, in this next chapter, 14 players will be profiled and chronicled. So here, I think the show producers said, expect the unexpected. You saw last year in season 1 just peeks behind that we had never seen before in the NHL. And this year there'll be more access to players than ever before. And what we're excited for about in season 2 is getting to go even deeper with the players. Pretty star-studded lineup. And I got to say, Phil, I think that whoever made this lineup of players watches our show and made it just for you.
Oh, really?
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. If you don't watch this season, you will never watch any show
It's
like
not that I don't like it. There's something has happened. I'm uncomfortable. I don't. Listen. I'm a walking contradiction. I collect hockey cards. I'm idolizing other men's accomplishments and not my own. I get that, but then when I'm watching one of these shows, I feel like I don't want to watch this guy be rich and go play a game I wish I could play, and I don't enjoy it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. I'll try again.
We'll see if the list changes your mind. So
who are they?
All right, Sid Crosby.
Oh, nice.
You're not curious to see what his personal life is like?
He's a chase world champion at everything he does. I would like to see what his routine is. Yes.
Okay. Then Flower, Marc-Andre Fleury.
That'll be fun.
Anze Kopitar for our boy Dave.
I love Anze Kopitar.
I know, dude. I'm telling you this. They made this list for you.
Yeah, for Phil. Okay.
Matty Tkachuk again.
That's little baby brother.
Here's one that you love. You love
Big
your
brother.
Toronto Maple Leafs train wrecks, Brendan Shanahan.
Oh God, I'd watch that just to see him trip and hurt himself.
Mikko Rantanen. That's not a bad one.
Not a bad one.
Willie Nylander again. He was so good. I think they had to bring him back.
He was on last year?
Yeah. He was really good last year. Probably one of the better ones. Then your boy Thomas Harley, Phil.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's good.
Quentin Byfield, another king for California Dave. Then Wyatt Johnston.
Meh.
Seth Jarvis.
I like Jarvis.
Now, Sean Monahan, which could be very emotional given that I think he was really good friends with Johnny Hockey and then came to Columbus right as that happened. So that one could be a tearjerker. But another one of your favorites is Zach Werenski.
This is tailored from Phil. Wow.
And then, Phil.
Where's my boy? Isn't my boy on there?
Brady T.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could watch that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something wrong with me. I don't know.
What if we watch it and tell you that you would really enjoy it?
Then I might. Yeah. I want to know less about Brady. I just want to watch him on the ice play, and I want him to lead my team to a Stanley Cup, and I want him to be a good father, a good teammate, a good husband, and a good player or a good person in the Ottawa community. That's as much as I want to know about the guy. I don't know why.
I respect how you feel about this, but I want you to acknowledge, though, that this is exactly the reason why hockey is a rinky-dink sport.
Yeah. No. I know.
Getting to know the players is what makes these sports popular.
No. This is net positive. Net positive by far. What bad could come from this, right?
All your favorites are on that list, Phil. It's crazy.
I'm excited to see the Flurry. What they're going
to
to conjure up for him.
Well, it'd probably a lot be about the send-off in his final year in the league. So
It'll be an emotional one. If they're smart, they'll make it emotional.
Well, despite what you say, Phil, I hope a lot of people check it out.
Yeah, they probably will.
And in America, it would be better than Canada because you guys already love hockey.
Yeah. There you go. Listen, hold on. I feel like I need to clarify. I feel like I'm going to get yelled at for the PWHL men aggressive thing. Some men the hardcores are aggressive. I know lots of dudes that like both hockey and whatever. Anyways, I'm just trying to get ahead of the people who are freaking triggered by everything. Okay.
Digging yourself out of the
I'm not digging. I've crawled out.
Shallow grave.
We had the opportunity the other day to chat again with Grant Paterson from GP Sports Cards regarding their time at the Montreal Expo and his passion for hunting for 101 NHL Shield autos. Now, none of us jabronis here on this show hunt or collect NHL Shield 101 cards. So I thought it was interesting and fun to get some insight from Grant as to what that collecting space is like. We're going to roll the interview now and hope you enjoy this conversation with GP Sports Cards' Grant Paterson. Well, we're going to welcome back to the show Grant Paterson from GP Sports Cards. Hey, Grant, how are you, bud?
Good. Yourself, Josh?
I'm doing well. So how was Montreal?
Good. It was an awesome show. Had a lot of fun. I typically go down there with a few buddies and we rent out like a cottage. So had a blast as always. And
What's a cottage?
Cabin.
Is that like a Canadian term, Ollie?
Yeah. Hansel and Gretel live in
chalet?
cottages. Chalet. Chateau. There we go. No, yeah, we just like to give people crap. So you mix in a little bit of fun with buddies and business too?
Yeah, that's always like my getaway show. Like anything outside of like Toronto is just more so like a fun trip, like taking sort of like some time off and enjoying it with some good buddies that all collect and go after cards. But it shocked me this year with Montreal. There was like a lot more buying than usual. I brought like double what I do, and it was gone by the second day. So I was like, I was very impressed with the quality of cards out there, and selling always like 50-50 there, but the buying was great.
Is Montreal, like, where do you rank the regions of Canada as far as the hobby goes? Like, I've often heard that it might have the strongest collector base in the hobby there. Is that true or untrue?
I mean, I might be a little biased because I grew up buying from mostly Montreal dealers and close collectors. So I think that it definitely does. If you're into legend stuff, like it's territorial there, where it's like you go there and like 90% of the stuff is like beautiful legends, the stuff exactly that I search for. So it's like one of my favorite shows from that end. Toronto's obviously great, but Toronto, you have like everybody traveling for that show, where the Montreal show is mostly like Montreal dealers. So a little bit of a different crowd, but always like I built some connections there. So it's always a really good show if you like legends and unique stuff.
Is that Montreal show, what would you say, predominantly? I mean, how big is it straight up Canadian stuff, or is it a lot of everything?
It's a good mix of everything. I mean, there's like if your game plan, which my first year was to go there and sell all my Carey Price and my Nick Suzuki, it is the exact 180 where it's like everybody's selling that stuff. Like it'll move, but it's a competitive game there where everyone has that at their table. So I end up like this show, I bought a $10,000 Carey Price collection, where the first show I went to this show, I would have brought my Carey Prices to move. So I find like a vice versa. I buy a lot of Montreal stuff in that show. But yeah, there's a good mix of like all teams, all different styles of cards. It's a good amount of quality vendors there. Not too many fluff.
But if you're an out-of-towner and you're going after Habs, that's the place to hit.
Yeah, you might find a card that you've been searching for a while. That's just like one of the older vendors that's been sitting it there and doesn't put it on eBay. That's what I like about Montreal as well, is like a lot of the sellers don't have that stuff up on eBay and sitting there. So you can find stuff that you wouldn't otherwise see.
Awesome.
Was there anything in particular, a player or type of card or set that that kind of stood out to you, that people were really asking about or chasing at the show there?
Not so much. Like I Lane Hudson obviously was super popular. He's having that great year. He was popular. I didn't really see much of like a exact player or some focus on it, but I did mostly like tied up in buying and working with people's collections when I was there.
So would you rank the popularity in, even getting back to your own shop in Toronto, is Macklin Celebrini still number one, and then would it be Shimmy Shakes after that, or
Yeah, I mean, I would say at that show it was definitely Lane Hudson, but Celebrini is still popular. I would say he's a notch above right now still, just being a forward and the potential there. But Hudson's going to be super, super solid. But like I always say, Montreal always picks their favorite player, and then we'll see how it does in 2-3 years, because they always have the next superstar. Like we got another guy coming up, so we'll see where the focus shifts. Hudson. Yeah. So there's like, it seems to be one every like 2 years. So we'll see.
Well, when you go back and recount the history of Cole Caulfield, it kind of makes sense that he's fallen off, but he had a really good year this year, and it doesn't seem like the steam picked back up at all. Like his prices are pretty low right now.
Yeah, like you got to be superstar status. Like they're still waiting for that guy. Like Nick Suzuki, always consistent, puts up great numbers. Look at his value. I mean, he sells well, but not like to the extent of like what Lane Hudson's going for, and he's a defenseman.
You've been buying a lot of cards lately. huh? And that's one of the things that we're here to talk about today. And I think the first topic is some of the Shield bounties you've been doing. And I'm going to be the first to admit, like I know that you were, and Phil knew you from long before, who, by the way, ditched you for a girl tonight. So
Don't blame.
Second place to a girl.
second place to a girl, Grant. So there you go. That's, you know where you stand with Phil, and you can take that up with him in person later. But
You should have heard Josh though when Phil told him that he was ditching you for a girl. Josh just said, "So hot."
no, what I
Thought it
said
was
is,
weird.
Phil, you can see your family at Christmas. But the reality is, though, is so like I've noticed, like on your breaks and on your social media, like that you will promote these bounties for Shield. So can you start by kind of explaining kind of what that program is, why you do it, and why you started doing it?
Yeah. So like I always thought, like I've seen it with Diacorbo, for example, for the $1 million bounty. Like I thought about those ideas like so long ago before they got super popular, and I've been, putting them in our breaks sort of subtly. The bounties that I put out for Ultimate were like cards that I collect and something that I want to acquire. So it was a little bit of a different motive between those bounties and what we typically do for our breaks. So one of our popular bounties, this is like break specific. We have one for breaks and then one for like what I collect. Our break ones, it's like you pull that Shield, you get that bounty prize, and you get to keep your card. So last year we had a $10,000 one hit. It was like $10,800 all to the winner. They got to keep their card. And that's like the incentive to join in our breaks. So every single break, it increased by like $100 if we didn't hit that Shield. And so
it's like a progressive jackpot sort of thing.
Yes, yeah.
Gotcha.
And so this year we already had 2 get taken down. We had like a 9-day span where we gave up over $10,000 in our bounties for our breaks. So that is free money going out to people who hit it. The first place one was $5,500, and then we had another Shield right after it for $1,500. So every break night, we'll do something cool where there's a minor bounty. If any one that gets hit, someone will receive $100 group break credit, and then there's a major bounty. So the Skybox Metal one that got hit was $1,000. That was a huge card for Skybox because 90% of those rookies, their 1-1 might not even go for $1,000. So we sort of give that.
So did you do that up like the gold PMG? Is that
Yes, exactly. So we hit the gold PMG of Luca Del Bell. So that card might be a $300-$400 card, but now that person just got $1,000 on top of it and get to keep the card. But for my personal collection, the ones that we've been putting out, and we'll probably have some for Cup coming up. I love Shields, and that's sort of what I've been collecting since I was young. So there's some great names this year from Upper Deck for the Legends and Hall of Famers that I haven't had in my collection. So I thought, let's put out, some big numbers on some of these cards and see if we can get some movement going. And I think that helps, the product. Obviously, I'm comfortable with that number. Depending on who you ask, some might be a gross overpay, but that it only helps people search after that team or that player in those breaks, and I think it helps everybody. So I'm a big advocate behind that. I think there's money for the breakers and the shop owners and stuff like that to put these incentives together for a lot of these collectors, that if you pull something like that, not only is it a cool experience, but what you're searching after. I think Topps does a great job with that. Like we see some big bounties on that end from Topps, and sort of hoping that comes into hockey, and we sort of see more of that grow as we go.
Yeah, that'd be great.
In the Cup this year, you can look at all the Shields on hockeychecklist.com. Funny. The checklist is up there. And what are the ones you have your eye on? Like, which ones are you putting the bounty on?
So I was looking on Cup. I thought there was going to be a few more. Like I'm such like a 50-50 like argument. And like, I love when there's a lot of Hall of Famers, but I also don't because I have a lot of them. So it's like a fine balance.
You don't want to dilute the water a little bit for every.
Exactly. Yeah. So this year was great. Like Ultimate, there was about like 8 to 10. And then like the Cup, there's only actually like 5 Hall of Famers and Legends that I could search for. But that's sort of like a great number where it's not too many of them on the market. You can still keep these big numbers for these quality cards. And so for the Cup this year, I don't know. I haven't gone fully through it, but I know for sure the biggest one for a solo Shield is probably going to be Pavel Bure. I can't believe he has update signed cards that have been around since 2017. They're finally getting signed. So he's going to be a huge chase in the cup. My jaw dropped when I saw that. So that's going to be a big one. And then, of course, I posted about this one was the Alex Ovechkin Crosby dual shield. Like that is like my era of hockey in one card and like a grail. So I don't know what that
have you officially put a bounty out for that one yet?
Not yet. I've been still debating what that number is going to be, because it's going to be high. I just don't know what exactly that number is. Like when I put those bounties out, it's like two different things on my end. It's like one that I would like to acquire the card for, and then the additional value for like the average collector who's going to get that on top. Like if I think a card is worth like $5,000, typically my bounty is going to be a couple $1,000s more than that. In most cases. So that dual shield, for example, when I put out that number, I want it to be like, big enough that it creates the incentive to chase after that card and creates hype.
And let's be real. I mean, there's a strategic and smart. I would do the same thing. You're a collector and you found a way to help promote your business in a way that allows you to collect as well, right? So it's a win-win scenario. You get to promote your livelihood. You get to collect the cards you want, and then you get to help people sell cards because we've talked about this a little bit on the show before, that hitting a massive card like that is amazing. Not always the easiest to sell and can be very risky at auction. I mean, you could be just the wrong day or the wrong week or month or whatever you chose to do with something like that. And so to have a guaranteed option I would think that would be really appealing to people. But now is probably not the time in the OV market to, bad timing there when we just had the honorable numbers sell for $100,000, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that is very true with 101s and that specific. Like I grew up dealing mostly unique cards and 101s. Like that's where my passion is. Like I always compare it to like, you can get a Young Guns of McDavid, but you could also get a 101 Legend for that price, right? Like, and that's so cool and unique. So that's what I love. Like short print patch autos, that sort of stuff is what gets me fired up for like the card side of thing, what I collect, crazy patches and that sort of stuff. So but that stuff, when you put that on market, like I would say every single week there are hundreds of cards that I would have bought for way higher prices that go, and I just don't have time to scour eBay like that. So that is the risk, but there's benefits on both sides. Like you get two people that want a card really, really badly, and they could go for way more. So there's benefits for both sides.
Do you know off the top of your head when the NHL started putting the shield on the jersey collar?
I don't.
Was it like 91 or 92, something like that? Early 90s, was it?
I don't know, because I actually had a situation with a card that I was really after. Like Guy Lafleur was on my list of like Hall of Famers that I was dying to get one, and then one of them came up and available, and then Mitch said that was pre the shield, so he doesn't know where it came from. So I was like, okay.
I think like those can come from like alumni games and stuff. Like you have to be careful in those regard, because I actually think I know the card you're talking about, because I had the same, and I went down, this was a number of months ago, a rabbit hole trying to figure out where that. Now with Guy though, because he did come back in the very early 90s and play those 2 years in Quebec. But you're right. You have to be careful. Well, kind of the main reason why I asked you that is just curious your perspective on this. So for a guy that played in the early 80s or 70s, like a Brian Trottier or something like, well, he was in the early 90s too. Bad example. Like a Mike Bossy, like what would be, who would wouldn't have a shield because there weren't shields on the jersey? What would be the equivalent of just his rookie card in a PSA 10? Or, when you look at these guys pre having shields on their jersey, in your mind, is there a one card that you gravitate to?
It's hard. Like for me, like I'm a shield collector, so that's what I believe is like sort of like their best card. So if they don't have a shield, I would assume it's mostly like the first card that I would gravitate to is like one of the patch autos from the Cup, a 101 with a nice patch, a top set limited logo,
Sure,
like the super popular one, or something early like Stanley Cup Titleists and the hardware. Those are like crazy sets. which we just picked up one of those in Montreal, the Jean Beliveau. So those
I
are
saw
like
that.
sets that. Sorry.
I saw that.
Yeah,
They're real.
that was a cool one. So those are the type of sets that if they don't have a shield, like that's what I would gravitate to first. As a 1-1 collector, I would go the patch auto, but you know, they go hand in hand.
Well, we have a couple of visuals of recent cards that you've acquired. So I'm going to ask the intrepid Babalui to pull them up now. And so the first one we're going to look at is, well, there's kind of a tandem, right? And interesting card in that, you know, you don't often equate Timu to the Colorado Avalanche, but of course he was there for was either 1 year or 2, I forget.
Yeah, that's like a rare one. I mean, Anaheim Ducks on this card would be a much different like ballpark. He has a huge following. It's still a massive card, but I picked this one up second from one of the other big legends that I got, and I thought it paired super well. And again, he's one of those guys that I didn't even have on my list because he never surfaces for his shields, and Jeremy collects all the team's shields as well. So, but those are the type of guys where that's what gets me super excited. And sort of, I went through a period of time where I was collecting these shields, and they just never got printed and surfaced anymore. So it's sort of, you go through that lull where you're like, you're still wanting to collect and get something to fill that spot. And then when I saw these guys like come up on the checklist, I'm like, oh my gosh, here's my one opportunity, sort of, if I don't take it.
So is this from the most recent Ultimate?
Yeah. So this one's from 23-24. It's an update shield from one of the older years. But it is like most of the big cards that you see are like update cards, I'm assuming, because Upper Deck's trying to get these guys to sign, and it takes a little bit longer.
And then you paired it with Peter Forsberg, who will show right now too. And you're right. I mean, together these are kind of awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, so it was funny because we have like a bounty list out for the shields, and I searched that checklist, and like I couldn't find the team of Solani, so he wasn't even on my bounty list. I bought this one first, so when the other one got pulled, a lot of people tagged me. So I was able to, connect with the buyer and work out a deal. But this was the one that actually got me the lead on the other one because I didn't even see that Team of Solani was on that checklist, so I missed it.
What year was this again?
This came out of 23-24, and then it's an update. I believe it's 21-22 or 22-23 on update.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. And then you recently acquired a pretty big one, another shield too, that an Ovi. What was the story on this one?
This is a really cool card. This one came from a break in Czech Republic. So
okay,
it traveled its distance. So this one was pulled. Same sort of thing. The guy posted on Facebook. I got tagged in it, and then we worked out a deal with the seller on this one. But this is also like a tribute to the 03-04 design, which I love that. Louis, you were mentioning the centering.
Yeah, you brought it up. I wasn't gonna, but yeah. Ouch.
He didn't want to rain on your parade, but he's now gonna dump a huge thunderstorm.
No, I'm not gonna. I say it all the time, especially it's a 1-on-1. He had one job to do on this one card. We can't even get that in the middle. Come on.
Yeah, I was so like caught up. Like I love the second I saw it, I loved the design and everything. I think they killed it with the design this year, and so I don't mind having a little bit of red, but yeah, I can. When I posted it, that was the number one comment. Like, how do they mess up the centering? But shield is shield. Like now, my mission is to pair that up with the Crosby version. So that's that's my number one.
That would be nice.
Hunt for this year's Ultimate remaining right now.
Practical collector question for you. So somebody tags you, and you find that it's halfway across the world in Eastern Europe. I'm assuming this was not like $200 or anything like that. Do you get is that where like you use goods and services and feel protected on there, or how do you feel confident that if I send a whole bunch of money halfway around the world that I'm not going to get like a hundo P base card in a box and be really sad?
Yeah, that's the number one concern. I mean, I'm pretty fortunate that I know a lot of like the breakers, and that's the biggest thing in this industry is remaining great relationships and friendships as you go. So for European breakers, for example, that's where I originally started, was on Facebook. So I have a good connection with whether it be a breaker or someone I trust and a friend. And as long as they vouch for the next person, that's sort of the line of I trust their word more than anything. So this was actually a breaker who I've grown up and dealt with a lot. So thankfully he had the card still in hand. But
Oh,
in the
nice.
instance that they don't have the card in the hand and they do ship it to their customer, like I'm one of those guys where I trust the word of people that I've dealt with before in the past. And so even on this big of a card, I would trust the word of, a friend or someone I've dealt with for years upon years. There's obviously some risk on that end. You can pay goods and services. It's like a 3% fee. It's not the end of the world, but in this instance, I trusted the breaker, of course. So worked out on that end.
We say all the time, what makes this hobbies go is the relationships, the cards.
Yeah.
It makes just everything better. It makes everything easier from doing a deal like this. How many shields do you have now?
It's a good question. So the story of when I first started collecting the shields is like I was 15 and I was like, I just want every single shield I can get my hands on. I don't care if it's some fourth line bum.
A very 15-year-old mindset there. Right?
Exactly. I was like, I want to be the owner of the most shields ever. And I was picking up $100 shields of absolute no names, which was not smart because back then you could pick up like a Hall of Famer for like $700. So it was like the difference between owning an absolute like no name and a vet or a star was like $600-700 back then. So I had at one point, I think my highest I got to was like 200 and something. And then as I started to get older and wiser, I consolidated them into the more names that I'm after and the players that I collected or grew up watching. So there was like specific like oddball players like Eric Stahl, Cam Ward, like that was like my era of like the guys that I loved. So I targeted those players most, and then sort of curated it into the legends, because there's always the fear like there's a ton of shields that get produced every single year. So Hall of Famers is one of those things, they don't produce a ton of them, and so that market will stay there, and it's more concrete. And it's also, I love the old style shield. Like to me, nothing beats it. So that's where I most of my focus shifted to. And
wow.
then James Lee's got a good hold on the rookies. We had that whole debate when we were collecting. We used to be battling for rookies and vets, and then we're just like, you know what? Let's make this very simple. You go up to the rookies. I'll help you out. You help me out. So this OV shield was James Lee tagging me in that post. So he saw it. He tagged me. That was the first time I saw it. So we go back and forth and we help each other out. So we actually had the Logan Cooley come and shop just a couple weeks ago. And so I connected those two to get a deal done on that card. So
Golden Gopher, Logan Cooley.
Yeah, that was
a big boat. Skyma, go Gophers. James, is he the one, Louis, that buddy California Dave sold his Swayman shield to?
Swayman, probably.
Yes, probably. He was after. He's a Bruins fan first, like so that was a big one.
Oh yeah.
So you want a quick little history lesson on your shields here?
Yes.
Since you were talking about them. So, I'm going the wrong way. I'm cheating. So these shields, were, I don't know when it started, but these were on the jerseys up until 2007. They were down on the hem of the jersey.
Yes.
And then in 2007, when Reebok got the contract or the whatever,
Reebok,
they started to put them on the neckline there, and then Adidas changed it again in 2017, kept the logo there, but they put it on the neckline. So if you go somewhere and just look at cards in different years, you can tell when they changed. But 07 was the first year of that shield on the neckline of the jerseys.
Yeah, that was brought up a few times. I know. So their back patch used to be on like their side. So that's like most of the pre, I guess 2000. I didn't know the exact year, but I knew that for a lot of the older shields. Love me a old.
Yeah, so that's
some orange.
probably
It's too
why
bad
they look
that
a
the
little
Shield.
rattered. Sorry.
Yeah, they look a little. They're very much stitched versus now. They're
Yeah.
kind of they got that.
They're sick
Me-
now.
Yeah,
I love them now.
It's too bad though that there wasn't like in the '80s. Like, how sweet would a Gretzky All Star with the downward and it's like a Camel Conference shield with
The right way.
That would be. All right, I'm going to test your shield knowledge here. I don't know the answer, but can you name off the top of your head what you think the most valuable shield card ever produced is?
No comment.
Oh, wow, being sneaky.
I have either answer that I say I have bias in both, so I can't.
Is
I
it
don't
a
wanna
dual
put-
shield? What you're thinking?
No, like that's a very big topic in a debate
Oh.
amongst collectors. Is like, what is the
100%.
Grail Shield, Ultimate or the Cup?
Yeah.
Like there's arguments for both sides. I just sort of I've gotten to that point where it's like I don't really chime in on it because I have value in both. So I always grew up collecting Ultimate, but the Cup is the highest end set, so it goes both ways. It's sort of like what the high end collector loves and desires more, I would say, on that end.
Okay, yeah. So you took that maybe slight, but I asked the question poorly. Is there like one particular card, like a Wayne Gretzky or something like that, that you think is, if any one shield card were to sell, that this would sell for the most of any of the other ones?
Yeah, I would say it's Wayne Gretzky for sure. On the specific card, again, no
Gotcha.
comment.
Okay. That's funny.
Grant.
Okay, we got some other pickups we want to roll through too. And speaking of Wayne,
Wayner.
oh, this is a good one. What's the story on this one?
So that is one that I've had my eye on for years, like a very long time. So like I said, Montreal is always one of my favorite shows because I've connected with a great community there of like core collectors, and the amount of stuff that you would never think has that never surfaced is sitting in Montreal. There's huge collectors and collections there that is just, it'll blow your mind. So this is a funny story that I started a relationship with a good friend of mine now. Back when I was like 16, 17 was the first time they reached out to me. I had like 100 shields at that time. And so this collector reached out and said, "Hey, I have a list here of the shields that I have. Are you interested?" And we're talking like Yzerman, again,
Wow.
Lidstrom, like Brodeur. That's what really kicked me off. So that was my first ever deal with my good buddy from Montreal back when I was like 16 years old. And so that became like a regular thing where I would go see these two collectors in Montreal probably like 5-6 times a year, buy like big collections. Now their collection, like you walk in, like it is beyond anything like that you could imagine. Like, so I was buying like 40 to 50 grand at a time, and that's not even like a fraction of what these guys had. So I built that relationship, was fortunate enough to be able to buy almost exclusively with these collectors, just by the friendship that we built, and sort of having a relationship where I was giving them the fair market and they were happy with our relationship and our deal. So but those same collectors were like, I had restrictions on what I could buy and sort of limits. So this one in specific was one of those cards where I saw this card when I was 16 and just didn't have the funds or capital to go out and buy a Grail card like this. So now all these years later, took a couple months, but we got the deal done, and I ended up picking this one up from him in Montreal at this show. So
so you just got it at the show?
Yes, yeah. So those same cards that I was I saw back when I was 16, 17, and then I finally took the shot at them at this show. And that one was definitely one that was on my bucket list as like a crown jewel, a limited logo of Gretzky there.
What year is this?
06, 07.
06, that's right. Okay. Is this now a top 5 PC card or no?
So this one is like, it's one that like I'm ecstatic to have. Like my top 10 would all be Shields because that is my core number one PC. Again, and I'm very like, my mindset is, I try to acquire stuff that isn't going to be printed and that sort of thing. So Shields being one of ones, I'm very like concrete with those. It's like, as long as only 10 or so come out a year, and like I'm interested in acquiring them. Limited logos, it'll be interested to see like the future of if there's more getting produced and that sort of thing. But this has like the old heritage of the cup. So this is one that definitely like is going to be in the collection, not necessarily like one that I'll never move or like a top 5 for me right now, but it is like definitely one that I had on like the bucket list of acquiring.
I think with these limited logos, because there's more than one, it's really the subjective ranking of the patches. So you have to be pretty confident that I assume this is one of the top patches of all the 06s that you've seen.
Yes, I actually spoke with the collector who has the other part of the crown there. So I'm
you working on that one?
No, that like a lot of these cards, like that's the great thing about hockey and sort of all sports, but like a lot of these type of cards that are considered grails are like tucked away in collectors' collections, that it's like the price point almost doesn't matter. Like everything has a price, of course, but it's more so when that person who owns that card is ready to move it and ready to sell, and sort of finding like a good home or someone that they've dealt with to get that value out of it. So this one in specific was one that, like, again, like I was asking this collector about since like, 16, 17, that was like one that like always caught my eye. So to finally work out a deal on it was awesome. But yeah, these type of pieces just don't surface very often. And it's more so time-based when people are ready to move it. It's sort of like name your price with that patch.
I was just going to say, this is not a card you buy for 20% less than comps.
No.
You have to convince somebody to sell it by overpaying, right? There's a certain amount, like the best, and I don't think that we talk about that enough, but my favorite cards, I don't own a card like this, unfortunately, yet, but my favorite cards, I've all pretty dramatically overpaid for, but I'm happy about it because sometimes the best cards, that's the only way to get them.
Exactly. Yeah. So like this card with a solid 3-color patch is like, it's a roughly about $10,000. I didn't even pay close to that. It's way higher. So this was involved in a $50,000 deal. So this card was way up there. But yeah, that's exactly it. You have to overpay on these type of pieces to acquire them. And they just never come up. So
buy it because you like it, right? Because that's the other thing too that we see. So Phil and I do like the top 5 sales of the week videos, and I think people know like Young Guns base get pretty volatile. But one of the things that we come across every week is that you'll see a mix of like these big hobby whale cards where sometimes they sell and a guy bought it for 40 grand 2 years ago and sells it for 120 and life is good. Other times, and these are amazing cards. Like there's nothing wrong at all. It's a guy buys it for 50,000 and sells for 32. And it's like, there's no guarantee that things are always going to go up. And so I think that you have to, that the flippers mentality, even on high end stuff, is can be pretty dangerous at times.
Yeah. That's why, like, I would say 99% of the stuff I acquire that I consider like part of my collection, I don't care like where the market goes. And like there's specific cards that I've bought that will testify for that. Like you could offer me any amount, like obviously everyone has their amount, but like you could offer any realm of reality of this card. And it just doesn't matter because I care about that card more than, the dollar value. And most of my core PC is like that, where it's like, it's just whether the card goes to 0 or goes 100x, like it is what it is. Like I love the card for the collection and not the value of it. And that's sort of like the situation I've come to for most of the bounties and stuff like that I put out for these cards. It's like people might say, hey, that card's worth $3,000 and you just pay 10 or 6 for it. But at the end of the day, like I love that card and it's not going to be moved. So it's going to be there.
That's what it takes to get what you really want. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I look at it that way.
is part of the rush, like going back to the Shields a little bit for a second, that like the competition, and I'm not even saying like in a like a mean spirited way, but is that part of the rush for you? Like you said, like Jeremy collects Timu Shield, so to be able to have that friendly competition and send him the card with a smiley emoji, is that part of the chase for you? Is knowing that there's only one of these and only one person can get it?
Like when I grew up, when I like the one-on-ones were my main sort of like card that I dealt with when I was growing up, and that's what I loved actually doing is eBay marketplace. There's a ton of ways that a card could get distributed and go into a collector's collection.
Mhm.
I loved having my guys that I knew what they collected and going and acquiring that card. Now it's sort of a different mindset because I'm sort of like the final destination on a lot of the stuff that I buy. Not so, I do the breaks and the shop, so I don't flip cards anymore as much on that end of like, for the money. But a guy like Timu Solani, for example, that would be when I pick up a card like that, that's because I didn't have him in my Hall of Famer like list of shields, or it's because it pairs up with the Forsberg. There's always like a reason that I pick up a card from that end. But before, back in the day, yeah, I would love having like my list of guys, and they'd be like, "Hey, I'm looking for an Anze Kopitar 101," and then I go out and acquire that card and then move it to that collector, and now it's found its forever home. That's one thing with hockey that is so unique, where being a vendor at these shows and stuff like that, when I see like a 101 come through, I'm like, wow, I just got an amazing piece for Matthews PC, like, and now I can supply that to him, right? So that's always the fun about it on that end. And yeah, it's such a good feeling as a hockey collector. There's way more collecting versus flipping. Like Young Guns, 10% every day like that, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't get any excitement or fun out of that. I do it. Hey, we buy collections. We do it all the time. But the fun is, getting the right cards in the right homes.
So I have something I observed at your booth at the expo, and I've not just your business, but I've wondered this about other kind of bigger vendors. And I actually asked your dad this, and he had kind of a funny answer, but I want to ask you. So like when you're at like the expo and you've got a lot of people there and there's money flying everywhere, it's in, it's out. Is there like a point at maybe at like towards the end of the show where you're like, I wonder if we've made money this weekend, or because like in the moment, it's like, you're on usually the buying end, you're doling out money on one end and it's coming in on the other end, and people are wheeling and dealing the cards they're buying. So you don't exactly know like what your margins are either. Does that ever get nerve wracking? Like it's like
that's
trying to figure out where you're
funny
at.
you bring that up, because that was actually what I had happen 6 months ago at the last Toronto Expo. Now, one thing is we don't sell on eBay. We don't sell a lot of these pieces online, which, there's a great market for that. There is a lot of times that we'll bring a card to a show that I know when I just sold that person who bought that could put that up on eBay at a crazy price and maybe find somebody for 300, 400, double the price even sometimes, right? I love having that inventory for the show. It sort of gives the best of both worlds, where everyone can come, they can find cards that are on eBay. That's the excitement. That's the part of the hobby that shows bring. So last 6 months ago, I actually found that where I bent a lot of my price on my sticker price, because every show, like a rule that I have before like an expo is I want to price out every single card within a week time of that show.
Yeah.
I want to be right at market, a little bit above it, just so I'm not wasting anyone's time, right? Like the price is there. We also have people manning the booth, so they need to know what they can do on flexibility wise for the price. So that's what I do. And so I buy at 80%. And then sometimes last show I was being flexible and I was selling at 80% of market. So it is one of those things where you're buying and selling, you're going in a circle. But again, like that's a show where you get to supply people and build those relationships, where that might lead into a card like that Ovechkin, that Solani. Those are the stuff that I get excited about. And that's what those shows are all about for me. It's not money at all. It's all about like building relationships and having people excited to know that they can come to my booth and find that sort of stuff. If it was all about money, like I get some hate on this, because like totally understand it. If a collector sees a card in my video and they want that card, like I understand their frustration. Unfortunately, there's a ton of messages like on our Instagram and that sort of stuff. So it's hard to keep up with. That's why we typically don't sell through those. But if I'll only cared about the money, I just stick everything up on eBay at a crazy high or best offer price and just, field offers. But there's a whole other side of the hobby where, having those shows and stuff are vital for relationships, card dealers and the fun. So
we're blessed in the hobby being in hockey because there's not a lot of that. I mean, it's there, but it's not as much as the other sports, especially like football and basketball. This hockey group we're still more collector based and trying to, like you said, move things to people that want these and they can find a forever home, which I think is super special in this hobby. We're always looking out for each other.
Yeah, for sure.
No, 100%. Good comment, Louis. We have one more show and tell card that you picked up that I'm excited to talk about. So we'll throw that up on a couple good names here. Decent, right? So potential, right? A couple, maybe 2 or 3 might work out. Tell us the story about this card.
Yeah, so that was in the same deal as the limited logo. That ended up being a 5-card deal there. That was another one that, like, when we're talking like top of the top crown jewels, that's right up there. Like, you got the 4 best players of all time right there. This was actually a card that I in that deal acquired for a good friend of mine. This isn't like sort of my sort of PC. So I told him what the price would be and he wanted it for that. We worked into the deal for him. But yeah, this is like an absolute grail piece.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a Sign the Times 4. Is this 2010? No, 2008. 0607. Okay, again. And it's Gretzky, Bobby Orr, Gordie Howe, and Oli Lefsa, Mario Lemieux. And it's out of 10. Now, what I think is, worth maybe even for some newer collectors spending some time talking about with this card is not only is it the 4 arguably greatest players of all time. You can make a good argument. It's all hard signed autos, which is significant for a couple reasons. First of all, Gordie Howe is no longer with us, so that's no longer possible. Secondly, beyond 2 autos, I think now Upper Deck is going the sticker route for all multi-signed cards. So it's not even on their radar at this. Now that could change in the future, but for the time being, it's not on their radar to produce a card like this. And so that makes, and it's out of 10. So it's fairly limited. This card, very special.
Yeah, that's 100%. My friend who collects, these type of cards is the same sort of feel. I've got my fair share of like triples and quads, nothing to this extent. Like, this is like the top card when you're talking about triples, quads, duels, all on card. But that's a great case as well, where they don't produce this stuff anymore. If we're talking about scarcity and grail cards that won't ever surface, like, they're just not producing this type of quality of a card anymore. Unfortunately, like, I hope Upper Deck changes that and sort of takes the time, even if it has to be a redemption or they have to insert it as updates. I've said that to them, like, this is a huge area that we're missing in the past 6-7 years, that we haven't had any on-card triple, duels, quads of these absolute legends that, they're getting up there in age, and we're missing the opportunity to capture these.
Or the new legends, right? Produce cards like this that 15 years from now would be amazing. And I do think, though, that there are some signs of hope. And I want to get, as we kind of, in the last part of our conversation, get your input on some of the new sets coming out and some of the new initiatives by Upper Deck. I would point to 2 specific cases. So to me, I think adding the Ovechkin buyback Young Guns autos to extended makes it's got it from as a breaker, make it a whole lot more interesting. Now you have acetates, now you have that card in there, and and maybe you tell me if we're not on the same page, but I think that's the type of card you're talking about, right?
Yes.
As just having one chase like that in a set, to me, makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, 100%. That was a huge bonus add to extended. Now, the rarity and scarcity of it is very hard, but it still gives that Willy Wonka, golden ticket.
Well, the card we just looked at is out of 10, and there's 8 of those. So what's the difference, right? Sure, 20%, but
True. Yeah, for sure. So I love the idea of that sort of stuff. It helps the product. It helps create these grail cards. Like example with those quads and stuff. Like I picked up an 8-way or a 6-way. It was sticker, but it was Gretzky, Lemieux, and Orr in the Team Canada, and then on the other side it was their NHL jersey. Like those are the creative type of cards that we just don't see anymore. Like I hope they're going to be coming back, and I think they will be. But on that specific card, somebody reached out to me on Instagram who never collected cards. This was a huge influencer that card caught their attention, right? Like that's what we need and what we want. Like someone who, doesn't do cards, a big influencer, has a good following. Now suddenly they pick up that card and they fall in love with the hobby, and then they're going to go after another one, and that sort of cycles. So those type of cards are super important. And that buyback Obi, I mean, that card is going to be absolutely insane. Like the chase on that.
the other case in point that I would make is the move to, and I hope this expands, but to have Connor Bedard's catches in his out of 99 RPA in the cup be game used from a specific game touchdown, right? I mean, that's like amazing. And that elevates that card instantly to if he ended up being at the same level of a Crosby or Ovechkin, which is very much in to be determined at this point, but just playing out that scenario, that card becomes, in my mind, so much more significant, given that it is game used. And then going back to, I think you know this as well as we do, that for many years, like in the second, so a player's second cup release, like their second year, Upper Deck has been using game used rookie jerseys. And it's like, whoa, and never telling anybody.
That's
right?
That's the biggest thing that I was saying is like that is some of the biggest and rare jerseys that players ever used, and those are in the second year cards that we're not even getting informed of. Like I think that creates a huge, like instantly any second year card from the cup, like in my opinion, I would pay double. Like it's like that has such a cool, unique piece where if we're talking about scarcity and unique items, now you have a piece that they only say if they get 3 or 4 jerseys of that player for their rookie year. Now there's a shelf line of where those patches and those quality of cards can go. So that's something that I think Upper Deck will be working on. I think they've sort of got that memo, especially with Topps, killing it on that end. Topps does a very good job making that a big deal and a big chase. So I think that will be coming soon for Upper Deck.
Do you think Upper Deck, just a couple of products I want to get your very quick opinion on. I know you haven't been having them in your breaks lately, but I sort of have thrown out the hypothesis that, well, I believe that this metal was pretty good. And I'm not saying it rounded the corner on the public perception of metal, but it sure helped. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, this was by far the most amount of metal that we've moved in the first week. From the average collector, it moved really, really well in store. They crushed it on the designs. Like their designs recently have been a notch higher. I still think, I mean, Billy might kill me on this, but I think the opportunity for a case hit and a really rare insert is there for something a little even bigger, higher tier. Like we look at Panini and what those go for. I think that opportunity is still there, and we haven't really found that piece for hockey yet. But they'll get to it, hopefully.
Oh, like a Color Blast or Kaboom or Downtown.
Something that really gains the attention and like the sale value. It has to have it's such a hard mix, right? You have to make it a super, super rare card. You have to make it a great design, but it's still, easy enough to hit for the average collector to go for it and chase after. It's a very, very hard balance.
Well, I think too, if you actually made it a multi-release card too, so you make them very limited, but include them in 3 or 4 sets that you can hit, that would help too. Are you surprised at the whole gold outburst thing? You always hear that, oh, it's just a couple of like kids that are driving up the market, or do you think that card, you're a 101 guy, is that here to stay as a monster card in the hobby?
I actually got asked this at the Montreal show. Somebody asked me about this exact situation because they had a golden treasure of Shesterkin, and they were talking about the Shesterkin sale on the Outburst 101. And sort of I referenced that to first year O-Pee-Chee Platinum. Like if you look at an O-Pee-Chee Platinum golden treasure from the first year, that's the first year that they made those cards. You can reference it to first year Prism, the amount that those cards sell for in comparison to every single year after that. I would say that's the same thing that's going to apply for these Outburst Gold 101s. That's going to be a longevity card that always has attention.
So over time, like when it's McDavid's 7th Gold Outburst base card, it's not going to be, people will reference the 2023. That will be the grail of that card. Right?
That's what I believe. I think it's going to take that same trajectory as the O-Pee-Chee Platinum does with the Golden Treasure 101. So I think these cards this year, even second year, are going to be very, very sought after, and they're going to be popular all throughout the years that they make them, as long as the player is a quality player, is going to sell well. But you're going to see a huge premium on that first and second year, I would say, for the Outburst Golds.
So this show it's Monday, June 2nd, which means we're 2 days away from Cup Day. So what's going on with the breaks and Cup? I assume a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. We are gonna for sure have a ton of Cup available for breaks. So this also is Edmonton Expo week. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be Wednesday is the Cup release, and then Thursday we take a flight to Edmonton. We'll be breaking in Edmonton as well. So, but it is Cup all week. Last year we did a 10 case player random. I would love to try to run that back. It is hard with how much more this year's is with Bedard, but we'll see if we can make it work and see if we can do the same sort of big show that we did last year. I'm super excited. Like obviously the ceiling's much higher now this year. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a fun Wednesday stream and a fun Friday. I'm also excited to have like a card show with this new release, as it comes out. So these cards that everyone's opening up in Edmonton or bringing to Edmonton, it's fresh, it's new stuff. That's going to be fun. Going to be fun to see.
Well, and sorry to break the fourth wall, the magic of podcasting for people, but we're recording this a few days before. And what if the Edmonton Oilers happen to be in the Stanley Cup Finals during the Cup release, during the Montreal Expo? That'll be as Louis likes to say to the kids, lit. Hey, Louis?
Before we cut him loose,
Grant,
Josh posed this question to Phil and I on what do you think the 8 out of 8, the great out of 8, what do you think this card sells for?
I actually had Johnny from Mint Inc. asked me this question today. He wanted my opinion on the value. As I
That's because he listened to our show and he.
No, there might be an ulterior motive there, but that makes me chuckle. So,
but yeah, as I deal with more of these Grail cards, I look at them in a different light. I think maybe I overvalue a lot of them, but I was looking at the reference today. So the out of 10 buyback autograph of Crosby 9.5 did 20,000. So I was going to put this right around $30,000 Canadian if I had to guess. But that being said, that is just a base number. It could be way, way higher. It could be way lower. We just saw the Cup Gold out of 8 of Ovechkin sell. And I mean, who would have predicted a number like that?
That was pretty big. 380 US, right? So
you ask me that, and I don't think anybody's guessing that number. And I mean, that's just just shows the strength in hockey, and it'll be very interesting. What did you guys say?
I didn't, because I had no idea. Josh had thrown out, you think it goes for over 10, and
I think for sure.
Yeah, and I agreed, but I'm not good at this stuff. But
if I was going to critique this card, the market value of this card, I think this card is beautiful. I think the pen choice, the paint pen, is amazing. Ovi signed it in the middle of the card, which usually it's like in some random spot when he signs cards. So I think, and the inscription thing on this one is cool. My only, like, if I was a serious buyer for this card, the one thing I would be worried about is there's been so many Young Guns tributes galore that I don't know how many, like, how many people assume this is a tribute and don't realize this is a
A real young
real
gun.
OV Young Guns, because
Yeah.
everything is a tribute now.
That is a great point, and trust me, I'm not on board with the tributes. I like the whole design, but I think they were printed too much. And when again, an average collector goes and searches an Ovechkin Young Gun, they get 1,000 renewed Young Guns to find an actual true Young Gun. Like, again, that's another topic that I'm very passionate about, that I think was maybe a missed opportunity to create that case hit, that downtown sort of thing. But that is exactly it. But that's why I love buybacks, and I know Upper Deck is not creating.
Oh, I love him too. Like, we're willing to help out.
Yes, it's
How
not
Blue's good at sleeving. We can sleeve.
but that is like that product. When you opened up like 15, 16, 19, 20 buybacks, you knew what that card was. It came with the sticker from Upper Deck.
Yeah.
You knew that those were all the true Young Guns, and they released those. If they do something like that, maybe in like a Series 1, Series 2, where it's that was a discussion where you carry over some of the rookies from the year before, and you now have their true Young Guns signed. It's the year after it.
Sure.
Young Guns number to the jersey. So that would create, a sense of more collectors seeing that on a daily basis. And every single year, you know what that chase is, instead of just throwing a random Ovechkin out of 8 in an extended set where, to your point, they might not understand how big and, huge that card actually is.
Yeah. Just being thoughtful about. Well, I've basically had that same thought about a lot of cards, like a jambalaya, right? Give every player one jambalaya. Maybe their second year, maybe their rookie year, whatever it is, and then it's done, so that you don't have here's the 19th Connor McDavid jambalaya, and now none of them are worth anything anymore, right? They're not cool, and I'm an insert guy, right? So that affects me, because where Shields they're just naturally more scarce, but being protective of the value. It's like the liquid gold, right? Don't make a Connor McDavid liquid gold next year. Don't do it.
Right. This is one thing that I've been thinking recently. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion, but I think products like Skybox, I mean, we've already had it for the last 5 years, but I think if I could decide, a product like Artifacts is the same thing every year. It's built on redemptions. It's built on the new rookie crop. Same thing with O-Pee-Chee. You can play off that. A product like Metal is based off rare inserts, rare cards that you can't acquire on a regular basis. Now we've sort of seen that saturated with the amount of PMGs and that stuff. If we put a product like that once every 4 or 5 years, I feel like that would have slotted in so well. And when you really want to create something that desirable, it has to almost be like that. So we've had products in the past that have been discontinued. So maybe bring one of those back and substitute it in for that year. Like, have your specialty sets that come out once every 3-4 years, and you cycle through them. That's
what it makes me think of, because I have an unopened box of 2012 Flair Retro, and I have no intention of opening it. I have the full one, like, not just the two. There's the two halves, and whenever I get the itch to open it, I go back and watch your video. Honestly, I do, because of that, and it's like, what if they did that again? Like, what if Upper Deck put
easiest product?
Yeah, it's where you could bring that and make it real limited. Only produce 1,000 boxes, or because there were so many hits in.
Who actually thought that they were going to do that this year and ordered an ungodly amount of SPX or Skybox EX 2000? Don't ask me how many cases I have.
Such an awesome set. It's just
Did you know that amazing. I just bought I actually like it. I did the die cutting thing bothers me. So but I got a Kaprizov gold credential. There's too many essential credentials. That's another problem with it. But I got the out of 50 for $30 Canadian.
Yeah, That price,
It's
you
not
can almost get half a box.
That being said, though, I do think that the double helix and the exceptional, the jambalaya cousin, like third cousin card, over time. I mean, if they, because again, this is all that we're talking about, right? That set was such a disaster. I don't see it coming back next year. So you've got like a card like that exceptional, where maybe 4 or 5 years from now, that's the only one.
Yeah. And then I think in 4 or 5 years, if they release that product with that card that has now gained all that level of interest, now suddenly all the hype's there. And they can also say it like, hey, this is a specialty set that's only going to be released once every 4 years. Get your chance at owning this card out of this box. Yeah. I think they have enough products in the arsenal where they can start to maneuver and go, back and forth. So a product's not released every single year and it's sort of adjusted for a fill-in product.
Do you think we should joint invoice Upper Deck for all these great ideas, or do we want to send separate invoices? What's better for taxes?
Good question. That's good.
All right, buddy. You're killing it. We appreciate your support of our show. We're very grateful. I always love to publicly acknowledge our partners on that. And it's Cup release week, folks. So gpsportscards.com. Go get your spots. I'm sure they will sell out instantly, but it's always fun to watch, even if you missed out on the opportunity. And you'll be breaking on YouTube as well. And then also, you guys are breaking more and more on Whatnot. So if you are a Whatnot user, look up GP Sports Cards on Whatnot and bookmark them so that you get notification when they have upcoming live streams.
Awesome.
How'd I do?
Nice.
All right, Grant. Thank you, Ed.
Brother.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate you guys.
Much thanks to Grant for joining the show. Here's what I learned, and you guys can chime into this too. I think if I was at that type of collecting would stress me out. when you only want one card that everyone else wants, and you have to be the quickest, fastest, and spend the most money to get it, that just doesn't sound fun to me.
Oh, that sounds fun to me.
Really?
Yeah. I like the chase, the hustle, I like that part.
I mean, it's got to be a huge rush when you get the card.
Yeah. Or when you don't get a card. Yeah. Sometimes you don't get the card, right? I like the party interview when Grant when he goes, so I buy most of my cards at 80%, but then at the last show, I was selling some big cards at 80%. And he just looked at the camera. He's like, so what happens then? Right. And he made a very good point. If he breaks even, he has kept his customers happy and he's increased his network. And and Grant is calm. He's calmer than most in the face of adversity. And that's what you want in a dealer, because Grant could make 10 bad deals in a row. He's not going to leave the hobby. He's just going to learn from it, right? He's going to learn from it. He's going to stay calm and he's still going to continue to buy. I know a lot of dealers that make a bad deal here and there. They need a 2-week break. Oh, I got to clear my head. I need a 2-week break. Right. Grant's moving all the time. He doesn't dwell. He doesn't ruminate on the bad deals he's made, and I think he showed that in the interview very well. And he's got current prices, and that matters to him because he wants to keep the end buyer informed and happy. That's at the end of the day, he's really giving back to the community in a fair and reasonable way.
He plays the long game.
Yes.
He's not just trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
A buck. Yeah.
Yep. And then he was quick to point out that if I needed to say anything about the Ovechkin, I found that hilarious. I wasn't going to say anything. We talked about it earlier, but he brought it up. Louis,
the Shield Police was. Louis. When Grant sent the cards for us to feature, Louis was more disappointment.
You can't unsee it now, Louis? That's the problem. No. You can't unsee it. No. Yeah, that's for sure.
New product releases is brought to you by Mint Inc., who's a Gongshow partner and sponsor, and we're grateful for their support of our show. Now, if you're sick of your family getting you another boring tie or something dumb for Father's Day, maybe suggest a gift card from Mint Inc., where you can get a $100 gift card for just $90. It's like
when's
an
Father's
instant
Day?
10% next week.
Oh,
is it the same in Canada? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just my son's not a Hallmark type son, so one of these Father's Days he'll remember. He'll remember. Well,
you can suggest for Father's Day. Then he goes to Mint Inc. and gives a lot of value. $100 gift card for $90. That'd be great.
I'll give Hasselhoff's phone number to Johnny, and Johnny, I'll set up my gift. Oh, and I'll be so surprised. Yeah.
There you go.
It'll
Right,
just
you
be
know,
another day around here.
What's that, Louis?
It'll just be another day around here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here.
That's all it is.
Well, the typical kid move in my family would be, Dad, I want to get you a Father's Day gift. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Can I have your credit card? Well,
I have
Yeah.
any-
And I don't want my son making me breakfast. I'd rather he can drive me to breakfast. I don't
There you
want
go.
him near the oven.
idea.
Yeah.
well, whether you want some hobby boxes, singles, get some cards graded, submit for consignment, Mint Ink is Canada's hobby brand, and their Vaughan flagship store is an experience within itself, I meant to say. So if you're not in the Toronto area, though, the GTA, as the kids call it, I guess, don't worry. You can get all the latest hobby boxes anywhere in Canada at mintink.ca. Well,
Well,
the
Big
most
week.
prestigious
Yeah.
annual hockey set comes out this Wednesday when we get graced with 23-24 the Cup. Unless I'm spacing something out, I would assume this is the last of the 23-24 sets too, right?
Well, it's usually the last, no?
I believe there's one more 22-23 that came out after the Cup last year, but yeah. So we're near the end, if not at the end. Moving on from the Bedsies rookie chase. Now it's the most expensive product to buy. Has the most high-end cards, though, and the checklist is out up on hockeychecklist.com. Today, we're going to review some of the key sets and designs. This is a huge set. There's lots and lots and lots of sets, tons of updates, printing plates galore. So again, if you want to see every little card in it, it would take 7 hours on this show. Go to hockeychecklist.com and right there to the 23-24 the Cup checklist.
can I ask you a
Right.
random question?
Yeah.
Do you guys know anybody? And I'm not saying they're bad. I'd hate that I even have to start off that way, but do you know anybody that predominantly collects printing plates?
No, I used to. They used to be a lot bigger, Louis. Like 10, 15 years ago, printing plates were where it was at. And they've tanked.
Did they just get overdone?
I don't know what happened. I kind of got angry when we didn't re-sign Alfredson. I had a hissy fit and I didn't buy cards for a few years until Brady came in the league. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. Know what?
You had an emotional reaction to something?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, get out of here.
Crazy.
I had a hissy fit. Leave me alone. But printing plates in like 2008 to 15 were like crazy. They were very highly sought after. Maybe you're right. Maybe there's just been too many in every set. I'm not sure. They're not exactly beautiful to look at,
No.
right?
The Cup ones, though, where they embed it in a card with a patch sometimes and an
Yeah.
auto can look pretty. I mean, don't prefer them, but I'm saying these are kind of the best ones you get, I think.
It's just lost its appeal, and I don't have the psychology behind it. Yeah.
I think, too, just again, to play a little bit of devil's advocate, for like an iconic card, like you wouldn't be jazzed to have one of the 4 printing plates for Connor McDavid's Young Guns.
Yes, I would. But okay, perfect example. Even that, it's like, yeah, it's a trophy. It's not a card. It's a trophy. That's what a printing plate is. It's a trophy. That's not that nice.
Good question, though, Louis.
Yeah.
Let's start with the base set. So there's 100 base veterans in 23-24 the Cup, veterans and legends. All base cards are serial numbered to 249, which is traditional. They're pretty thick. Base are 140 point in the Cup. And honestly, they're kind of a fun, decent, affordable Cup chase. Now, Phil, I think you can speak to this.
Yes, I do. I collect base cup cards. I love them. I adore them. They're high quality, excellent designs. Almost every card is a beautifully chosen photograph. They're all numbered out of 249. How can you go wrong? You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
You know how many times I've seen a Madonna or a Brodeur and I just pass it up for no apparent reason, no good reason.
You should
I
collect.
don't have one.
And a very achievable little subset for you to collect would be collect every base card of Mike Modano in the Cup.
Mhm.
That'd be phenomenal. Phenomenal. I have 3 years. I have the very first year of the Cup full base set. Yes, I even have the Gretzky, which is worth more than the rest of the set. And then I have 2009 and 10. and I have 20, 12, and 13, and I love them. I absolutely adore them. Yeah.
Maybe I'll
Then
add it to
within
my
the
list.
There you
All right,
go.
there you go. Then within the base set, we have our base rookies checklist. Now, this is where you get your out of 249 and out of 99 RPAs. There's 100 total rookies on the checklist. This is where the much discussed conversation around these in the past week is, of course, they are all slabbed. Remember, the Bedard RPA in this case is game used and has the provenance to the specific game or date, which in that game the jersey was worn, which I think is huge again. Even bigger news than the slab thing. I know the slab thing is more spicy, but I'm very, very happy about the game used jersey, and I hope that that gets expanded.
Yeah, we should talk about that more. I feel I dropped the ball on that this week a little bit as well. Dave is opening up. Dave, as always, buys a tin of the cup. So if you're going to watch Friday Nights with Phil, I'm sure you're going to see lots of breaks all week. But if you want us to, beat a topic into oblivion, hang out with us on Friday Nights with Phil, Dave's going to open up a box, and we're really going to sink our teeth into the slab here and check out the cert number and see what happens.
Oh, that'll be fun. There's traditionally 6 out of 99 RPAs in each edition of the cup. Last year, there was 7 for that Lucky Sevens box, which has never surfaced, or publicly at least, that to my knowledge.
Are we sure it exists for sure?
Billy said, but he lies a lot.
He's
So this year's out of 6 RPAs, kind of an interesting list. Bedard, of course. Then Fantilli, Luke Hughes, Logan Cooley, Leo Carlson, and then Simon Nemec.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So here's the biggest out of 99 snubs then. Brock Faber.
Oh.
Devin Levi. Matthew Nyes. Dustin
What?
Wolf. Yeah.
Dustin Wolf and Matthew Nyes are 249s.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal.
I know.
Brutal. That's
Yeah.
Jake Sanderson's at 249. Well, I mean, how you can't get them all still though.
I'm sure the checklist was done so long ago, and Nemec was the second overall pick, right, Louis?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he is.
Who cares about Nemec? Matthew Nyes and Dustin Wolf, guys, that's crazy.
Well,
That's
now,
wild.
yeah. But when they were obviously figuring this out, what do? You know how far ahead they do it.
Mm-hmm. Here's a big question I have about this rookie list that part of the reason why I want to say it out loud is so you guys remember to remind me, or you just ask Billy yourself this. So when you go to hockeychecklist.com and look at the checklist, of the 100 rookies in the 249 or out of 99, 22 of them have no auto or no patch. They're just basically and so if you buy a tin of the cup, that gives you a 22% chance where your big cup rookie would be a base card.
Nah, they can't that's not going to be your hit in the box. There's no way.
I would hope not. I would hope that's next.
So. We'll ask Billy.
That would suck.
Bro. I'd be. There's no way. There's not for over this day and age in the economy. For over $1,000, you're not going to get no. There's no way. They'll double up. They'll double up. They have to.
You saw what happened to me when everyone's hitting golden treasures and emerald surge rookie autos.
You're comparing $1,000 purchase versus your giant tiger pack buying. Get out of here.
No, I'm just saying that my luck. I 100%. If I spent $1,000 on a tin of the cup, I would end up with some no name, no auto, no patch rookie. That would
no three of us have a horseshoe up our butts. Really, I mean, I got a Bedard, but it caused more problems than not. So.
Oh, you got a bunch of money at the end.
Oh, stop! Move on. What's next?
So everyone, can we have a moment of silence to feel bad for Phil for hitting a huge card, which it took him 2 weeks more to get a huge payout.
3 weeks and 2 days. Not that anyone's counting.
For you. Should we start a GoFundMe to?
Maybe I already did.
Cover
Maybe I already did. Yeah.
We're gonna move on to memorabilia. The memorabilia section of the cup is massive. There's so when I counted on our checklist side, like how many subsets we broke it down into 40 different memorabilia subsets. Now when you look at like the black foil, those are like where your Shield 101s come from. Those parallels. There's 80 veterans and legends on that checklist. Even one Hall of Famer, Brian Leach, gets a Shield auto.
That's cool.
There are Gretzky and Orr too, but they're just autos because they didn't have shields on their jerseys when they played. Then there's 33 rookie auto Shield 101 cards. Basically, all the big names will be represented, and Louis, of course, will have a keen eye on every patch to make sure that it's centered.
I'll take this Fantilli. They did a good job. Bravo.
Yeah. There's 10 dual Shield 101 cards too. Now, these don't have autos, but they have 2 shields for 2 players.
Wow.
Pictured as Jack Hughes and a Quinn Hughes combo. If you're a Hughes Bros guy, that'd be a big card. The highlight, though, the big one, there's a Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin dual Shield 101.
Woo! That's a big one. That's a big boy card.
Key question, boys. In the same day, on the same auction, in the same week, that dual Shield Crosby and Ovechkin 101 was up for auction against the Connor Bedard number 98 out of 99.
Don't care.
RPA. Which one sells for more?
Don't care about the 98. Oh, which one?
No. Here's it sells.
The Crosby and Ovechkin's going to sell more because strength and honor will prevail.
What do you think, Louis?
My head says the Bedard. My heart wants the OV.
Okay.
One.
I'd like to think. I mean, that Crosby Ovechkin dual Shield is a bonk.
That'll win. No, that'll win. There's too many crazy Russians and crazy Canadians. No. There's not more crazy prospectors. I think the bankrolls of the Crosby and Ovechkin holders are bigger than the prospecting card bros.
And if Bedard had 50 goals this year, that might be a different story.
I'm still high on him, man. I really am.
Oh, I'm not saying that as long term. I'm just saying if he had a better year. I mean, that has you can't deny it's dampened his hobby market.
It has dampened.
Hold on. Shield Police.
Yeah.
Now, these shields are decent, but wouldn't you have cut the spot 3 millimeters bigger and just made it all fit?
Okay. I think centering is as far as we can go with you on this, Louis.
Well, all right.
He drew you a line, Louis. Sorry, I don't think you should cross it. All right, now you're being silly.
No. Yeah, it is kind of because it is fun to see the pointy parts, right?
Yeah.
You're saying you can't see the pointy parts.
Oh, good pointy part, yeah.
We know that.
I'll stop.
The other popular memorabilia sets in the cup are, of course, limited logos. Now, pictured is the AM34, which is out of 10. It's a vertical card design this year for limited logos. I kind of like it.
I like it better. Yeah, big fan. Big fan. Do you think that'll ruffle the feathers of the LL crowd? Well,
Mitch had said that there's one other year, I think. Was it 09, 010, or 10, 11?
Yeah, he would know.
He would know. There's 43 total players on the checklist. Cards are out of 50, out of 25, or out of 10. And 5 of those are legends. So you have Brian Trottier out of 25. I'd like that one. He's a friend of the show.
Friend of the show?
Friend of the show, Brian Trottier. Marian Hossa out of 10 with no auto, though.
Oh, well, what team? Don't say Atlanta.
You'd have to check on the checklist.
Dude, that could be a sick patch, though, Bill.
Really, I just want to forget that happened in our league. You know.
Then Henrik Lundqvist out of 10. Joe Sakic out of 10. And then another non-auto, Mats Sundin out of 10.
Oh, I hope they're in Quebec. I hope they're in Quebec, Nordique.
That would be cool.
Unis. Oh, my God. Ever.
Can he really not get Sundin's auto? Was he mad at Upper Deck or what?
Tough auto to get. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some player agents had some odd like Daniel Alfredson barely ever signed with Upper Deck because of some deal he made with someone else. Yeah.
Honorable numbers are numbered out of each player's jersey number or a significant stat or milestone. I think that's what part that ruffles some traditionalist feathers, where like Gretzky has one out of 3, I think. And obviously he's not number 3. So rookies in this set include Brock Faber, Logan Cooley, Devin Levi, Leo Carlson, Luke Hughes, and Nemec again, but no Bedard.
Interesting.
Yeah,
you'd think this would be a very Bedard heavy product, eh?
You'd think. Louis, you might have to seriously looking out for numbers.
I will never even touch either one of them.
Really?
No.
No interest, huh?
Oh, a heck of a lot of interest, but it ain't gonna fall.
Well, there's Berdure out of 30, Madonna out of 9.
Wow.
So this is where like Lundqvist out of 64, so that must be some sort of stat, and then I said Gretzky out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
One of the new memorabilia sets is Cup Coronation. This is I'm a little bit confused by this card. I'm going to be honest. Where's the memorabilia? Is the cup? Was there a cup on the jersey from like the Cup Finals? Is that
maybe that they just put it in the wrong subheading on the checklist by accident? That happens.
Or sometimes Upper Deck their example cards from the sell sheets are not at all similar to what comes out. Like there'll be players on the sell sheet that aren't in the checklist. The numbering's all weird. That's
maybe the cup will be the patch, the cup outline. Maybe
that'd
be a big patch.
It'd be a huge patch. Holy moly.
What does coronation mean?
It means these are it's only people that have won the cup.
Yep.
Coronated king kind of thing. Yeah.
Did you guys watch Coronation Street at lunchtime at school? No. Okay.
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of Coronation Street? Oh my God, it's crazy. Okay.
We'll look at autographs now. So just like with memorabilia, there's a big number of auto subsets in 23, 24 the cup, 25 as we broke it down on the checklist site. A new one this year, it's kind of interesting, is Baroque. If you're into like very ornate designs, this one would be for you. You like that, Phil?
Oh, Baroque. I thought you said broke. I was like, well, that's ironic coming in this set. It's like thought another pro set spelt Ray Bork's name wrong. Could be anything, you know.
I think it's really hard to judge this given the preview card because, if that's like a bunch of foiling, like silver foil, that could be cool.
Maybe it'll be like a doubloon. That's the vibe it gives me.
What does Baroque mean?
Baroque? I don't know. I'm the one who asks you what words means. I don't know.
Okay. What's next? A number of people are really disappointed in this card. It's just color coded. So if you think of these cards, they're usually like black or like a solid, and then have some like crazy pen ink on it. Now it looks like they did use a color matched pen ink for Leo Carlson, but I've liked other years color coded better.
You know I don't own any. Actually, I do own a couple of color coded, and I'll pick them up if they're cheap, just because they're a cup card. But it's not the one I'm gunning for in the tin.
The show is back with black and white. There's no preview photos, but just wanted to mention that. We're going to move on to booklets now. So the cup has a number of booklets, even though I know they're not cards. A number of booklets. One that's pretty cool we haven't mentioned yet is a Bedsy one. He's the only player on the checklist, and it includes a piece of the game ticket from his NHL debut on October 10th, 2023 against Sid and the Penguins. These are hand numbered to 6, include an auto.
That's different. Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The big booklets in the cup, though, are the Monumental, which are a huge chase in the product. This year, there's some doozies.
Wow.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
That's awesome.
It's so sad to me that Gordie Howe's pet passed. I mean, if that was a hard signed auto.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. 101 too, eh?
This might be my favorite Monumental patch ever.
Really?
I just love this.
Yeah.
You get so spoiled. It's like, I'm going to say something controversial.
Do you think the whale is going to be that happy when it's getting harpooned, though? You know?
Oh, geez.
What I want to say that's controversial is, of course, like a McDavid with almost like the full oil drop is amazing, but we see that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love when like stuff like this hits you. We're like, whoa, I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, well, that color green isn't anywhere near the NHL on any team, just that alone.
There's 15 players in total have Monumental patches. Other highlights than Gordie Howe, you have McDavid, so that's where you're going to get your big oil drop probably. Draisaitl, another Oilers. Sidney Crosby, that could be cool, huh?
Yeah.
And then Ray Bork. The vets and legends are all 101. Then there's rookie Monumental booklets too, and the rookies are out of 6. So there's a few more of those produced. Connor Bedard, Brock Faber, Logan Cooley, Luke Hughes, and Leo Carlson are on the checklist. There's some big Faber cards in the cup, Louis,
Yeah,
for Wild fans.
it is.
Exquisite is next, and even though it can't live on its own per NHL rules, Exquisite Collection does have a home in the cup, thankfully. Now, I've broken it down on the checklist site to 17 subsets for Exquisite.
What a card. Look at this card.
That's a great card.
That's a beautiful card.
Rookie auto patches in Exquisite are numbered to each player's jersey number. So that's something to keep note. Where in the cup base cards are out of 99 or out of 249. They're numbered to the jersey in Exquisite. Then there are also Exquisite Rookie Auto Shield 101s, and Bedard is on the checklist with most of the other big name rookies. One interesting thing, though, about Exquisite that I think is actually kind of disappointing, no limited logos this year for Exquisite in the cup.
Interesting. That's going to upset a few people.
I think so.
Yeah.
What we're showing here is the Exquisite Black Gold Auto. The Legends subset includes Henrik Zetterberg. We're looking at also players like Larry Robertson, Jerry Cheevers, and Grant Fuhr. Splendor is back in the cup for 23-24. Really only two cards. There's the Veteran Patch Auto and the Rookie Patch Auto. I say this all the time. I'm not the hugest Splendor guy, but I really like the design of it this year.
There's some cards really stand out. They're really, I know I make fun of it. I call it spend more and I don't really get it. But there's some, even from previous years, some very nicely designed cards.
I like Splendor because it's more in my wheelhouse.
There you go.
Okay. Bedard is on the rookie checklist here too. So then I think the last thing to mention on the cup, and this has been talked about a lot in collecting circles already, is there's a huge amount of updates. And in particular, a lot of Pavel Bure updates, who does not sign very often for Upper Deck. So it goes back to 2017-18, where there's Bure limited logos. There's an 09-010 Exquisite Rookie Tribute, Monumental Patch, Shield Auto 101 for Bure, Gold Patch Auto out of 8.
Wow, there's a lot.
Yeah. Now, that's just 2017-18. And Bure is strong but mighty, as Phil likes to say when it comes. But the collector group is going to go nuts over these. Like, boy, I'm predicting they're going to be very spendy. There's a Bure update in 2018-19 as well, the autographed ticket booklet. And kind of now getting off the Bure train for a minute, there's a number of 2020 updates for Kirill Kaprizov, which makes me to think that they wouldn't be stickers at this point.
Yeah.
And that could make those cards very interesting.
Yeah.
And sought after as well if you want to get some 2020 cup cards of his that are not sticker autos. There's a Splendor RPA out of 36 that's in there. A few, again, other cup autos and rookie patch autos. Again, you can see all the updates and an entire checklist on hockeychecklist.com. So here's what to expect when Dave buys a tin of 23-24 the cup. You get one base set rookie autograph patch card. So, okay, so maybe that answers my question. You're guaranteed one auto patch card, rookie auto patch. One numbered autograph memorabilia card, booklet, or printing plate.
Woo.
One autograph card, autograph jersey card, or autograph booklet. One base card numbered to 249, and two additional base, insert, memorabilia, printing plates, or redemption cards.
All right.
So Mint Ink, guys, is sold out of the cup.
Already, hey?
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. They didn't have the preview on their site, so I reached out, and they're like, "Oh, we're sold out." And you know, I don't know if they'll get more. So again, if you want an extended series or pre-order ice, go to mintink.ca. I think a lot of that has to do with the price. And I don't know how many, if hobby shops in Canada are ordering less this year because of the tariffs too. I don't know. But
I'd imagine they are, yeah. They and they're doing us a solid. I mean, let's just focus on the one topic. They're eating the tariffs, right? They're
crazy.
Yeah. We got hosed on Series 2, but last year, but we're making it back on the cup. Two very different products, but excellent gesture. Thank you.
I wonder who we could have on the show that would give us the real answer as to why 23-24 the cup is cheaper than 22-23 was.
I just think
Makes
they're eating it.
n-
I really think they're eating it, and I think Series 2 is a big flop. I think that was really mishandled by a lot of parties involved, and I think they're maybe trying to do a solid and keep the hobby momentum going. Maybe.
That'd be
I
nice.
don't know.
Mm-hmm. One other quick new product releases story is 24-25, which just came out a couple months ago. Series 2 already on ePack. So you can get your, or I guess we'll see your Celebrini and Mitchkop Young Guns Speckle Rainbow foils and silver foil cards coming out any minute. ePack was normally more expensive in an LCS, so understand that when looking at the pricing, the per pack price for the early morning packing on the Gongshow Discord looks like it's about $12 US or $140 for a box. So Phil, you're pretty deep in the ePack community. Is this a big deal for you and your people, or what?
Well, I like the achievements. I think everyone gets really excited for the achievements. And as the good listener might not know, you scared the crap out of me today when you sent me a Connor McDavid Young Gun tribute reissue. But there's no outbursts in it. Thank the Lord. Thank you, baby Jesus. And yeah, so I think the
would you even be on the show today if there was a red outburst of that card?
Let's not go there. And yeah, within 3 days it happens to me. Excuse me. The ePack community really gets behind. They're tight. They help each other out, and if there's a bad actor, they get kicked out pretty quick. So they're
How are you
good
still
group.
there?
I'm at least I'm tolerated, we'll say. I wish if I was a rich person, I'd be on ePack all the time. I'd be doing breaks on ePack. It'd be the easiest. You could never leave your office, and I would just want to keep Ottawa Senators, and I would do breaks on ePack all the time. I think that's an easy way to do breaks.
Well, that's your cup. Are you guys overall? What's your opinion on what you've seen so far out of the cup?
I'm thoroughly excited for this week and to live through others. Yeah, I tried to get by into the GPS breaks for the random, but I think I'm going to hold off this year and just keep collecting my empty tins and buy the card I want from this year's cup instead of chasing it.
It seems like overall, again, you can always nitpick something.
Yeah.
But overall, it seems like Upper Deck did a pretty good job. And I'm excited to talk to Billy on Wednesday and go through more of the card, talk to him about the color coded and some of these other new cards. And, we'll see some designs we haven't seen yet. And so that'll be a lot of fun.
I haven't seen anything in hand this year. Everything looks really good. The last 2 years of the cup have been excellent. Yeah. Excellent, in my opinion. The designs, the crispness, the production quality, top notch. Top notch.
You ready for mailbag, Phil?
Let's go. Yeah. I'll take over, give you a little break.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Mailbag time. All right, everybody. Time to listen. Here we go. Discord from Siri Care. With my card post launching the auctions yesterday, do you think Slab Sharks could also dive into that? Or does it remove the middleman? And what would it need to start tilting the hobby sphere? Josh, why don't you go ahead?
I think it's pretty exciting for Mark and the My Card Post group. There seems to be a lot of people that are excited about, and they're doing flash auctions that last 24 or 72 hours. The seller can choose. So they're meant to be really quick. They're not sudden death. So that's like
what do you mean by that? Like,
it means that if there's like a bid within the last minute or 30 seconds, that it adds another minute.
I'll keep going. Yeah.
But what I kind of like about that is, as we know, with most week-long auctions, nothing really happens till the end anyways.
Yeah. It's like a basketball game.
There you go. So if you have a 24-hour auction where it just keeps getting extended, if people are bidding at the end, that might be a happy medium, maybe in that regard. As for the question, would Slab Sharks ever do that? We just mentioned that they're the largest seller on eBay Canada. I think they're pretty embedded,
comfortable
within eBay. So I don't think that they would ever.
They have such a strong relationship. I mean, eBay has Karn on speed dial and vice versa, right? Hello, eBay, it's Karn.
Well, they're eBay's largest customer.
Yeah, that's mind blowing. All right, Louis and Phil probably agrees with Josh. Next question. Philadelphia Fly. Is this Neil? Is he doing?
No, it's another guy from Discord.
Okay. Philadelphia Flyagram. Question for Phil. That's me. What is the net positive for these new rookie patch auto slabs if you plan on cracking it and don't find the label important enough not to lose it? If cracked, unlabeled, RPA seemingly would have less value than their intact counterparts. Does that then mean all previous year raw dog birthday suit RPAs are now worthless? Upper Deck as a monopoly holds all cards, literally. PSA can't authenticate patches because Upper Deck does not allow access to databases. The problem exists because they allowed it to exist, and their solution is for their reputation more than what's best and easiest for the hobby. If the end result is less fake patches, then sure, it's a win. But the dead horse has been beaten here. The hobby wants the photos, not the slabs. I'll go ahead first. So to answer the main question, if you do plan on cracking the slab, and yes, I would be one of those people, the net positive of cracking it would probably be very little. And if that's my answer. And the only remaining positivity would be that card that is cracked is in your personal collection. I know Grant Sandground said it's okay if you have the number. So let's pretend to be me. I cracked my slab, and then 3 days later, I lost the paper. And if it's you, it might be 10 years. I don't know. But let's say we all lost the paper. Grant said as long as you have the number, they can still stand by that because you can access the card. I'll leave that as it is, okay? So it still verifies the card completely. My overall answer is let's wait this out, man. Let's wait this out. I don't want to throw up my arms and question everything when I firmly believe, have a limited part of the information. And I think a first step is a great step, and I'm not going to dissect it quite yet. So
I'd have thought this is probably dumb to say on air, but I'm not smart. I've been thinking that one of the unintended consequences of this is there's going to be people that when they see one of these slabs for sale on eBay, they're going to start making a database of all the numbers. I wonder if we should integrate that into hockeychecklist.com somehow.
Yes.
If you look up the Bedard RPA, it would list all 99 numbers.
Because
I wonder if Upper Deck will be mad at that.
The hobby will take care of itself. And that's what I think is the most beautiful part of being a human and being part of a community. Community rules, dude. If that's what the community wants to do, that's what we should do. We have a checklist as a podcast. Let's do it. Right?
Well, because the number is not like a secret. It's printed on the slab.
Oh, I guarantee you there's going to be people posting it on eBay and their numbers.
Like all the...
I love the guys that block out their PSA numbers. Super serious folk.
Right.
Come on, get over it. It's ridiculous. Or the gloves with the breakers. Oh, I love it. Okay. Louis, you're good?
Bro.
Okay. Discord, Tom C. Following a conversation I had a few days ago, I have a question about displaying cards and the risk of them fading due to sunlight. What, in your opinion, is an acceptable level of risk for displaying cards in your home, office, work truck, and or fortress of solitude? I love it. Louis, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Your home and office, obviously try to have them in a spot that's not in any direct sunlight. I have cards. I mean, the best place for cards is autos is dark, but I just try to keep them out of any direct sunlight. I don't have a lot of light in my basement with, what do I got? 3 small windows down here. So, I got my frame with my 5 Madonna stature autos out. Those have always been out. The use of an acrylic case will help. Your work truck, out of the light completely. Glove box or your little armrest. And Fortress of Solitude, there's Superman. You shouldn't have any worries there unless the kryptonite gets in there, and then you and the cards are toast anyways. So,
one touches aren't kryptonite proof?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Josh?
Acrylic, like we're learning from our friends at Paterson, who I think we're going to be working with soon on this show, that there's UV benefits to acrylic. But from what I understand, nothing can completely prevent the that sun can break down in auto. And this question actually some comments we got from Mitch Grotman, or I did in a DM that were very interesting. Makes me want to get in like a auto expert on
Yeah.
the show to talk about protecting
A
auto.
calligraphy.
Like one of the things Mitch said in his DM, and again, I have no reason to that he would ever be wrong, but he said that red autos break down faster than any other color.
Well, they're more in the
And-
light spectrum, aren't they? Well, I don't know. I'm trying to sound smart.
And that blue autos are the most
Secure?
the best ink. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Maybe we'll have to do a Gongshow. The more you know. I'll go buy some cheap autos and some one touches or whatever. Put them
in a tanning bed.
leave them in a spot somewhere for a few weeks. I mean, it might take longer than that, but if they're in a direct sun spot, I'll just set them somewhere and see what happens.
Jumping on what Josh said, Pather, they use we actually learned a lot meeting with the owner Neville, and cast acrylic I remember him saying seems to be one of the better pieces of plastic, whereas PVC is kind of the more cheap stuff. Like top loaders are made from PVC, but penny sleeves are made from actual acrylic, but just cheaper acrylic. So there's a lot of things I don't know what I'm talking about. But I would say if you buy an expensive one touch or whatnot, look into it, maybe see what kind of acrylic they use. I mean, I
think most one touches are plastic, and from what Neville told us, Pather is the only acrylic ultimate holder. They don't call it a one touch.
Yes, ultimate holder. I apologize. Yeah. I think a lot of information is out there. It just takes a little bit of legwork. Maybe we sent you in the right direction. There you go, Tom. You learned nothing. We answered nothing. All right. Par for the course. Discord. Next question. Discord. B. Phillipson. Why isn't extended released in tins? That means there are no red black dazzlers for those cards. I'll go first. I agree. I love tins. Well, that's my answer. I agree, Phillipson. Louis, what do you think?
I think we'll just maybe ask Billy on Thursday.
Okay. I think we have a few answers like that today.
Mm-hmm.
I could say one thing in general about this is I have noticed in the last 6 months that Upper Deck is pulling back on certain things. Like the size of sets are getting smaller. Products no longer have memorabilia. There's less inserts. So I think sets got pretty big and bloated over the past few years, and they might be pulling back. But I think Billy is a great question for Billy on Wednesday.
All right. Instagram, IB Collects 1989. What's a unique collection you have? I'm starting a Hall of Fame top loader binder. I'll go first. I have a mustache PC. I just started. I got 4 cards. And I also collect anything Nordiques and Whalers.
So hot.
So hot. Feels so hot right now. Louis, what do you collect?
Nothing unique.
Okay. Josh?
I feel this question made me feel inadequate. Like I'm not cool enough. I don't have some like amazing weird mustache collection or anything like that. And now I'm going to start one.
Well, this actually a good question though. If somebody listening that is actually in a funk in their collection, trying to figure out something to do, it's a good question to bring up to make them think a little bit. Maybe I could do something goofy like mustaches or Hall of Famers.
Hall of Famers is a great one. That's a good one. It's a good one because a lot of people do it and you can help each other out. All right, next question. Instagram, Ed_Lister82. Ha, I'm older than you. When Upper Deck gets a quality control box, does that mean, say, all of the 99s aren't available? I don't know how to answer this, so I'm going to leave it up to Josh.
What I've always been told is that when they do their QC boxes, any hits go into the replacement card pool. So, like, if you hit a card like a flop and it's damaged and Upper Deck replaces it, that this is the pool of cards that they get to choose from.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. Next question. Stu Artnett Hurton. Do you think Upper Deck knows exactly where the OV buybacks are? Do they know the serial number on the packs they are in and the hobby boxes and cases, or just complete luck? Thanks. Love the show, especially Phil. I'll go first. I am also curious to how and where they threaded these cards. Is it a third-party company? I guarantee you, if they hire me, I'll do it way cheaper, and all 7 cards will get put in the packs. I promise. Louis, what do you think?
Oh, this is speaking from the heart. Pretty sure they don't know where or what serial numbered packs they're in. I really would hope they didn't. I know there's a tracking somehow, probably, but
Yeah, I don't think they know.
I think, yeah,
I think the only thing they know is what percent of the 8 are in hobby boxes and what percent are in e-pack.
mhm.
Did you guys see though that one was pulled already, the number 1 out of 8
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Quebec, of course.
yeah.
Why is every good card pulled in Quebec?
The odds, they buy more.
Okay.
Yeah, they buy more. They buy.
Why aren't their card shows bigger though? I'm still confused about that.
I don't understand. I've been to a lot of Montreal card shows, and I agree. They're strong, but not as strong as you'd think. You know, it's kind of funny. It's I bet you like East Coast and West Coast shows are much stronger than Montreal. I think Montreal, all the guys know each other already, and they all live within an hour of each other. They're wheeling and dealing all the time, anyways. Montreal is a permanent card show, maybe. All right, next question. Oh wait, no, you guys didn't answer. Sorry, Louis, go ahead. Oh no, you did.
I did.
We did.
So did
Okay.
you.
I just wasn't listening to you guys. Okay, next question. JB Hockey Cards. What is fair market price for a Johnny Gaudreau Future Watch autograph? I've seen them sell for 100 to 120, but people always ask almost doubles the sales prices. Louis, you want to take charge?
You know, it has to probably deal with the passing thing, but here I just made a little chart of
Nice.
the last handful of sales, the last 2 months. So I don't know. Beckett 910, 9.5, 10 autos. The high was, or the last one was 280, but 162, 171. That's pretty close. There was only one PSA in there that I found for 231. That was a 9. And then your raw values really aren't that sporadic. The last sales were 90, 96, 90, 107, 97, and 133. I don't know.
Yeah, seems appropriate.
Good job, Louis.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, hope that helps. Hope that helps, brother. All right, next question.
Probably the answer is question why some people asking double. You know why.
Well, because he died, and they're trying to take advantage of
Right.
that. Yeah, they're opportunists. Time old tale. All right, Instagram. Photo works. Outside of the Cups rookie patch auto, what other sets would you consider an official RPA product in? Auto minimum 2-color patch, rookie year, SP authentic? Guess what's the poor man's RPA? Loves you all. Hi, Phil. Hey, man.
Hey.
I'll go first. I think Ultimate, Premier, and Stature would be considered good RPA, but none of them. Don't ever confuse. None of them are in the high class of Exquisite and the Cup. Yes, even Stature is not.
Right.
That's my answer. Joshy Poo, what do you think?
I think the flop is the first thing that comes to my mind.
Oh yeah, I forgot that one. Yeah, that one too.
Mm-hmm.
That's more of a flop though, not an RPA, right? It like would you? I know it's an RPA, but no one ever hands you a Future Watch auto patch and says, "Here's an RPA." They say, "Here's a Future Watch auto patch."
If they're cool, they say, "Here's a flop."
Get out of here. Okay, Louis. You same answer.
Saying flop, but I don't know. Could spend more be it? I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's split. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Part of the Cup, so I guess I would throw it in there too. All right, next question. Instagram, Southeast Mickey, Southeast Mike. There's been a bit of chatter about Trilogy being canceled. Has this been confirmed by Upper Deck? I did not give an answer because I don't know anything about this.
No clue.
Josh,
I think it has, but I honestly have a hard time keeping this stuff straight. There's Trilogy inserts and extended. And remember too that when something I consider more of like a product getting a rest, like even if it's gone, it's not permanent. Upper Deck can bring it back at any point. So I wouldn't be super disappointed if that was the case.
Yeah, good answer. Next question. Taekwondo from Twitter.
You want to say that again?
Taekwondo?
No, think about it.
Taekwondo? Oh,
Ah,
Taekwondo. Oh, sorry.
there you go.
There you go. I thought I was trying to be like, anyways, like Debrickashaw,
Yeah.
Okay. It feels like I am the only collecting. Okay, let's start that over. It feels like I'm the only one collecting AHL every year. You are. So do you think Upper Deck should do more with the AHL to draw in buyers? CHL has a large flagship set and SPGU. AHL has one small set with no game used memorabilia cards. I'd love to collect AHL patch cards, but I doubt they'll ever come. I'll go first. So imagine, well, see, okay, there's older people in the league, I get it, but imagine those little goobery teenagers signing all those beautiful patch cards, man. And maybe it's a blessing in disguise there isn't an AHL. I know they're probably, and if they're not little teenage goobery guys, they're early 20s or either their late 30s, right? So you have very angry older men probably eating TV dinners, and you don't want them goobering up all the cards. And maybe you don't want a lot of interest because the sets would be cheaper. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer. Boys, do you?
I'm from the U.S. I don't know much about those sets.
The AHL.
AHL, that's where that is you.
I was thinking of CHL. Sorry,
CHL. Yeah, the CHL is pretty big up here. I mean,
I think it's just it comes down to there's not a huge market for it. Upper Deck is a business, and businesses act in their own self-interest to make money. And if there was a bigger market, they'd probably produce more cards. And I have a suspicion that some of these sets are maybe even a condition of the agreement with the NHL anyways.
Oh, maybe, eh? Yeah.
Like they're not money makers to begin with. It's more, hey, we want you to do a CHL set too, or a Team Canada set or something.
Yeah,
like
I don't see the CHL set bringing in big heaps of profit for anybody.
But I do feel though from though, I mean, if you love the AHL, I would agree. It would be awesome to have patch cards.
Yeah, probably easier to get their jerseys and stuff. They're not so highly sought after, right? All right, next question. Instagram, Secure Shell. He doesn't really have a question, but he has more of a segment idea. And I don't know, this could have gone two either ways. Top 5 hockey mouths of the week. Now, do you mean like attitude or like the cut of the guy's jib? Like you want a big upper lip mouth? Or do you mean
bad
like,
hockey mouth? You know how like the Bedard,
like Stallone mouth. Oh, bad hockey mouth. Okay, I get it. They all have bad hockey mouth right now.
This is a good idea for Discord because it's hard. It's to specifically find bad hockey mouth cards. But if we maybe throw a channel in there where people just dump cards into it as they come across it, then maybe you could pull the highlights from that.
Okay. Louis, anything?
Okay, let's roll.
All right. Instagram, slightly rounded. Please tier Marner destinations. Great. Okay. And as they pertain to his hobby, interest, and values. I have the weakest answer, so I'll go first. I think he'll go to either the Islanders or Utah, and I say flip a coin. I don't have tiers. I apologize, but my friends do. Louis?
Great, Montreal. Okay, Islanders. Anaheim.
So I didn't see the Islanders. Is that a thing?
Oh, I don't know. I just put them in there.
That's where I feel it's a little thing, and I feel like that's the strongest thing. Yeah.
You have a little thing. So, yeah. Okay. Great. I put Montreal and Chicago. I think those would be market boomers for him. Okay. Staying in Toronto, right? That's still an option. Maybe very unlikely. Detroit, Utah, and LA. On the side, I had the Wild, sadly, Carolina, and Vegas. A lot of Vegas steam from
He's not going to Montreal.
Why for the Wild?
Yeah, you don't want him. You listen, you don't, he's not going to Montreal. There's no way. There's no way. He doesn't, you don't make a lateral move, for like a fan base, even though Montreal fans are much stronger and resilient than the blue team. Okay, next question. Instagram, Hockey DT198. Do you think you're better off selling cards on Facebook or Instagram than listing your cards on eBay? I feel like on eBay, all you're doing is competing with these big consignment stores, which is tough because they draw more interest than the regular Joe Schmo seller. eBay for auctions, and I Facebook or Instagram for cash deals. If you want big exposure on big cards, you got to use one of the big boys. I know we have a Slap Sharks thing, but use another consigner if you want. Whatever. That brings more eyes to your cards, man, and that's why people are doing it. So, Louis, what do you think?
I just agreed with Josh's answer.
Oh, sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Well, I see his point and the reason why he asked the question. And even as big as Slab Sharks is on eBay, eBay is so much bigger as a platform that you can list your cards and it's not going to be overshadowed. Now, Slab Sharks does draw more eyes to it. But honestly, if you're not interested in a consigner, I would probably list it on both. Like if you're in a buy it now situation, list it on Facebook and Instagram and up on eBay, and whatever you get, wherever you get the bites, sell it there or that way.
The little nibbles. Yeah. All right. And Louis agrees. Next question. Quack Pack Trading Company. What's your opinion on in-person autos on cards? Josh, you're on a roll. Why don't you answer?
I think in certain circumstances, they're really awesome. Like I got at the last expo, Peter Stastny autographed a rookie auto that my buddy Neeler did it for me. Well, that was at the fall expo. And so that card means a lot to me. When it comes to like a value standpoint, I would value pack pull autos a lot more. Meaning it's like I would spend more money on that, where I don't look at in-person autos as like cards I would like quote unquote invest in or anything like that.
Louis?
I love in-person autos if I'm the one to get the auto in person. They're great. They're fun because I want it for me. I probably got the auto with somebody I wanted to get it from. But I have bought one or two that I didn't get in person, but I knew the person that got them. So if you're worried about it being legit or not, other than that, I wouldn't buy an IP from some random rando that doesn't have any authenticity to it.
Makes sense. I'm not the biggest fan myself. I am if it's for me and my card. So if I bumped into Brady Tkachuk and I was drinking and I wasn't thinking straight, I would ask for his autograph. That would mean more to me. I'm not ever going to buy an in-person auto that someone else got. Probably not. It's contradictory. I know. I'm a bit of a walking contradiction on the in-person auto, but I want it pack pulled from a licensed company, and it makes me feel better. All right, next question. Instagram. William Janiferocious Celio. Is this Billy?
Yeah.
My goodness. My goodness, Phil is so handsome. Secondly, how many acetate young guns are in extended hockey? Oh my God, he is gaslighting, trolling us.
It's a troll.
I'm gonna kill him.
I'd say, don't worry, Billy. We plan on having you answer this question on Wednesday live.
All right. Sneaky. I can't believe I actually typed an answer to that. Okay. Instagram.
For the record, I made up the middle name.
Oh, you did?
The middle name. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why? Anyway. Okay. Instagram. Cardza. Do you think winning the cup will have any significant effect on either team's hobby value? I'll go first. Yes, it separates losers from champions. So yes, I think it'll increase their card value if it's ended. Losers.
I agree.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Josh,
with what you said. We'll leave it at that. I read it wrong.
Oh, okay. It's like, speak into my good ears, son.
Right.
What are you saying, Josh?
I agree with you.
Okay. Discord. Cracking some cards. I am a huge fan of sets like Chronology and Stature, and also like collecting autos of players from the past. Do you think Upper Deck should produce a yearly auto memorabilia set that honors the players of the past? I think collectors of today should know the players from the past that helped mold the NHL to what it is today. Boys, Josh?
Yeah.
Other than yeah.
All right, I'll elaborate.
I
think a hard yes. I think Upper Deck's trying to do that. They're bringing us Parker's Champions. The designs are very different than everything else, and they're not getting. I'm pretty sure O-Pee-Chee cardboard doesn't bring in huge bank for them. and it's a really big set that they always have to pay lots of people to organize and do. And there's some good modern vintagey type of comfy, cozy basement wood paneling type of sets. And I can live through Parker's Champions and O-Pee-Chee paper with them.
Well, there is an ingrained one coming out.
Really? Oh, that's
It's
right.
already been announced. Yeah, like an ingrained legend set.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I think Upper Deck does a good job on honoring their legends. I think they do. All right, Instagram, Bolts on Ice. Do you think the OV buyback Young Guns card, and all other buybacks are overvalued? What's the difference between the OV buyback Young Guns out of 8 and an OV Young Guns with an in-person autograph? Josh.
I think it's a fantastic question. And logically, I totally see his point. Maybe I'd call it emotionally, I don't know what, but I think they're different because it was pack pulled and done specifically by Upper Deck to commemorate the goals record. I guess that's how I look at it, right? So rather than him just signing it, Young Guns in person, I'd much rather have this, and I'd value the buyback way higher.
Yeah, Louis, what do you think?
The Upper Deck one's going to be hot just for the simple fact that it's, right out the gate from Upper Deck as a buyback, and they're pumping them out randomly in the packs. It's, I don't know. I get what he's saying, that they're both IP autos in a way, but
the Upper Deck, the ones in extended though, have been promoted a ton. So there's a lot of awareness around those cards and hype that's been built rather than just stumbling across an in-person auto.
I put this on kind of when I show my cards to all the women that come over to my house that I bring over, and they go, what's the difference between that Brady Tkachuk that says high gloss on there and the other Brady Tkachuk that says nothing on there? And then I say, well, it's the difference of about $2,000. And they say, why? I still can't answer. That's me. That's ego collecting. That's trophy collecting, right? So I put this in almost the same category. Listen, you gotta either turn a blind eye to it and be willfully naive or ignorant, I guess you would say, or just admit it, right? I think our ego plays into a bit of this, and that would be it. That's my answer. All right. Next question. Ryan Moss, great friend and contributor to the show, just like everybody else. Sorry, I didn't say that earlier. I sent you the proof, but how? This is a little accusatory, Ryan. No kidding. I sent you the proof, but how does Celebrini do a 3x more than Lane Hudson for their Young Guns acetate? I'd like to go first.
Sure.
There are a lot of anomalies in our hobby, Ryan, and I think this would follow under them. So if I could defend a little bit, he just finished playing with Sidney Crosby at the World Champions tournament. He's Canadian, and I thought of this. He's kind of like our biggest spark in our country right now for youth hockey. And the kid, he's a handsome young man. He's got a great smile. He loves playing hockey. We need a new Crosby. We need a new guy to get around, to get up. And I know Bedard's going crazy and everything, but Celebrini's got a swagger to him that's very wholesome. And I'm not saying Bedard's like a villain or anything, but I think there's probably 5 or 6 big wallets in Canada that are going to probably go hard on Celebrini for a bit. And I think that might be where your 3X is, And I'm not saying there's not a Quebecer out there that's not going to pay 5X for a Hudson. I'm just saying, we got a whole country looking for a new golden boy. And that's my best answer.
I actually think there's a different answer. And
Well,
that was very emotional and eloquent, and Louis cried. I mean, I saw it was his eyes were sweating. There.
Just answer it, Madigan.
So what he's talking about is the first public sale for a Celebrini Young Guns acetate was $3,600 US. Then, like 2 days later, a Shimmy Shake sold for $1,000. These were not auctions. The Shimmy Shakes was listed at $9.99. Buy it now, and somebody probably 14 milliseconds later hit the buy now button.
Well, that's your answer.
You can't draw a bunch of conclusions from one sale. And whoever pulled it just listed it for $1,000, and of course it was going to sell because that's probably way under market value for.
Yep.
I think I would have bought. I don't collect Hudson. If I saw it for $999 US, I would have bought the dang thing.
Yep. I wish it would say quantity 4. I'll buy them all.
Yeah.
Son, we're eating steak tonight. Yeah. Louis, what do you think?
Well, now that Josh explained that answer, with the I sent you the proof part, I'm just going to go with what Josh said. We'll just leave it
Okay.
at that.
I'm still going with my answer, but I was assuming they were both auction prices.
No.
I still like my answer, but I think Josh has got the correct answer. The more
He's got the
applicable.
most
All right.
analytical, detailed answer. But
Yeah.
let's say there was more. Let's say it was a different card and there was 20 sales of each. Cards still get priced a lot by the hype of the player, and Celebrini got a lot more hype. And second would be the spark of him. Hudson's playing great, but he's on D. Celebrini's on forward. That all that crap comes into play. In this case, somebody, like Josh said, pulled the card, wanted to offload it, and got what he asked for it when he probably could have gotten $3,000 easy. Right? Or am I just blowing smoke here?
No. That's a good answer. All right, next question. Instagram, the Rempel crew. How's Troy been? How's his hockey team doing? I'll go first. There is no Troy, only Zool. I don't know. Troy's good. Josh sees him all the time. So does Louis.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's
Injured.
doing good. Injured.
He's always injured.
Had surgery.
Yep.
But he's on the mend, getting ready for summer hockey.
What do you get? Hair transplant or something? Get plugs?
Meniscus.
I don't know what that is. It's
In
not
your
your
knee.
skin? No, that's your epidermis.
Your knee.
Your
Okay.
knee.
My knees are, I don't have knee problems. All right, here we go. Get better, Troy. Sending you positive energy. Discord, I told Dave to stop doing this. Okay, Discord, California Dave. You only get to open one tin of the cup. What are you opening? 2021, 21-22, 22-23, or 23-24? I'll go first. 22-23 because I really like the design and I really like Jake Anderson. He's one of my favorite hockey players. And I want to get an RPA of Jake Anderson because he's my favorite hockey player. Louis, what do you think?
This release 23-24. No reason. I just spent 2 hours putting a thing together on it, so I like the cards. So I'm in.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. It's like the last, but what's the best movie you watched? The last one I watched. Josh, what's your answer?
I'm going to say the same. I think this set's some interesting. I would love to say 2021, but with the Kaprizov Stickrado thing, that kind of ruined it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was such a bummer. I told you I was in my LCS when somebody bought the cup and ripped it and hit it. He was like, "What the hell is it?" Like it was such. I felt so bad for the guy. I was so happy he had a Kaprizov RPA. Then he got a sticker. Anyways, it's a terrible memory. All right, Peach cards. Next question. I'm pretty proud of my set of the 2002-03 SP Game Used Authentic Fabric 103 cards and a piece of history 85 cards, as these are numbered to 225, 99, or 15. The print run is very transparent. Has there been a similar set where the majority of the cards are numbered like this? So I didn't answer your question, but I do love your question, and I collect weird crap all the time, and I don't think there's a lot of people doing what you're doing, and that's my answer.
No, it's not. You got a lot more in there.
Nope, that's my answer. So, Louis, what do you think?
Oh boy. I said I love that you build sets. I love building sets, but I really can't answer the rest of your question.
I think a lot of sets have numbering like that. And to me, it makes it cool because if you want to collect, especially if there's 85 or 100 plus cards, some of the out of 225s in your case are going to be easy. And then you're going to have a couple tough chases in the out of 15s, but you're not having to spend the money to collect 100 cards that are out of 15, which would get spendy.
All right. Last question.
Oh,
Discord. Oh, wait, what was that? Did I miss something?
Did I miss a question?
No, that was the you're supposed to show his set.
Oh, yeah, there. Sorry.
Oh, he has one. I want to see. Yeah, okay. I didn't even see that.
I forgot to add the second picture into it.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, brother.
Oh, there, it's right there.
That's very impressive, Peach Cards. Good job, man. I love it. This is awesome. Hey, if you want to come on and talk about it, Friday Nights with Phil, I'd love to have you on. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Not too long. I mean, we don't need to go an hour about the cards, but
You should
I love-
stick with the main theme too and cancel on them the same night.
Yeah, seriously.
You can come on for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Don't cancel on me. People love canceling. Anyways, I had Brent Wallace was over at my house today, and we talked a lot about guests and everything. And he said it's never personal. It's never the worst thing you could do is give a snooty response back. Just try and
Yeah.
he was like, if they give you a hard time and they're not able to be punctual and lock them down, just stop approaching them. What a simple answer, right? Like it was great. Yeah, had a great
It's
time.
a vet answer for sure.
Brent's my buddy now. We're friends. It's great. Okay. Next question. Last question. Beer Boss. Hey guys, with the NHL's recent quarter century teams list, do you know if Upper Deck has any plans to make some inserts for future sets to honor those lists? Could be a cool new insert chase for some players or teams that normally don't get much love. Maybe a question or suggestion for Billy next time he's on. Yeah, the list for Billy is getting bigger and bigger.
And
go ahead,
agree.
Louis.
I agree.
oh boy. Yep. We'll just add it to Billy's list and see what he says.
We're gonna put
Personal pickups.
Billy to work, eh?
When Billy to work. Oh, yeah, we're gonna do a big Q&A. Philip, what do you
Hello.
got for personal pickups?
I have amazing cards that I can't show you, and you're gonna have to wait till Wednesday and watch my video.
You've been working on that for a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to incorporate a little more music. I'm trying to be more
Mm,
slick, and
nice.
we'll see what happens.
Slick Willie, huh?
Maybe we'll see. But yes, I please Wednesdays. I try to release a video every Wednesday, and my Wednesday video is about the Montreal Expo that happened 2 weekends ago. It's just taken me a while to do, and yeah, that's it. So stay tuned for Wednesday. I got some really nice cards.
Can't wait.
Thanks, buddy.
Suppose I'm up, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with a little help from a little buddy of mine, I was finally able to complete this thing. I got 2122 Fleer Ultra Gold Speckled Rainbow Nico Hischier.
Get that from Carter?
Yeah, he did a little
Dance for
EPAC
you?
trading for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he did EPAC because those are tough, right? You have to combine a lot.
Yeah,
to get
dude,
through
it's
them.
I don't step on their toes. Yeah, well, he has all the time. He told me the train drives himself. I was
Right.
like, what? It's like, you don't drive the train?
No. Well, who knows? Anywho, next card I picked up. No specific reason, really. I thought it was cool though. A 2020-21 Allure NHL Shield 1945 out of 45 Hischier. And
Sweet.
then I'm just having a little fun with this one. So I went and started buying some Trottier cards, and I don't know which one out of this group here I want.
The trilogy, it's got a spot for it. The Immortals won't sign well. The acetate will be tough. You need a special pen for that.
See, I want the Hockey Heroes one too.
That trilogy will sign the best. I think the first one will sign the worst.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the foil is tough to absorb.
You got me thinking now. I want to get it. Start shopping for some cards.
Oh, I got mine put aside already. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got my
Cool.
Shovel Day and Trottier already. I already know what I'm bringing. Yeah, I'm not paying. If they're like, Phil, I need $5, I'm gonna forget it. I'm gonna rip the card in front of their face.
I mean, you're not paying. It's $40.
You work at McDonald's, Louis. You can eat the fries, okay?
Oh, is that how it works? Got it.
I don't know. Cole says he can. He has to fire people if they eat the fries.
Oh.
So maybe
Jeez.
it's not us. Yeah, I know it's pretty tight.
And Mr. I'm on a roll lately.
Yeah, so I got a few cards. 2014, 15 O-Pee-Chee, Sidney Crosby Black Rainbow out of 100.
They're not
Beautiful.
I really, really like this. And the condition is really nice, given these black border are tough.
They're tough.
So-
Yeah, real tough. Good score, Josh.
Then a couple inaction cards from 2010, 11 O-Pee-Chee. So they got the Crosby and the Ovechkin.
What a shot, eh? Look at that
Yeah.
determination.
Termination.
Boom and boom.
Boom and boom.
Nice.
Oh, here, at least I got one of your cards' names in there now.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Then the last one is a 23-24 metal. I'm really liking these Martin Site cards.
Nice.
So now I have 2. I think I got Ovechkin, and I just got my car.
Yeah. Those are sweet. Do you have the Ovi at home?
Not yet. It's coming.
I want to see it bad.
Well, boys, we did it. 296 in the books.
Yep.
going to be another big week, another fun week. So thank you guys for everything.
Yes, sure. Big week, cup release, lots of lives. Make sure you join us all week.
If you like the episode, please leave a rating, review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, you want to chat with us every day on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our out of $2.99 support level tier on Patreon. For the good listener, the link is in the show description. And for the good viewer, it's on the show description on YouTube too. It's on our Instagram, TikTok profile. You can get to it on our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, or Patreon's website, patreon.com, and just search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. We are on social media. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast is a production of Dollar Box Ventures, LLC. Baba Louie, you know what to do.
If you're still wondering what a Baroque is, it's a style of European architecture, music, and art of the 17th and 18th centuries.
I'm sorry, what?
Hi!
Yo, it's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say them in show.
I got a little package.
Oh, come on.